to the fact that we do have a public report of a funnel cloud looking north from Spickard. Okay, so all right, here I am now. Real quick, I'm going to zoom out. Okay, so here's what we're looking at. This is Melissa's tornado warning storm with observed tornado. I'm looking at this severe thunderstorm warning that has a possible tornado on it, not a tornado warning. So I'm going to go back to that here. I'm zooming in again. Let's go back to where I was. There's the KC Metro. I'm going to zoom in right now. We're watching this storm right here again. Hold on. There we go. All right. So we're looking at this storm right here near Princeton. That orange means a tornado possible. And there was a funnel cloud that was reported just north of Spickard. So right along Highway 65 in between Princeton and Spickard. I'm going to also add the tornado was right around Princeton. So they could be double dipping in that regard here with tornado activity. So right, very dangerous situation up there for folks up to the north there. That would be in Harrison, Mercer County area. But really this is in Mercer County. I'm going to look at the storm relative velocity here on this storm. See if we have anything up there near Mercer County, Princeton. It would probably be this. Again, it's a little bit of a radar hubble far away from the radar, which means the scan is lofted, right? Tornadoes are close to the ground, so the imagery isn't the best, but you could still see some rotation that we are watching here, right around here. Again, this would be clockwise, but again, funnel cloud was reported right around here, so I'd be watching this area very closely here, just south of Princeton, near Spickard, and it's also going to be moving off to the east, possibly for communities like Newton and Harris as well.
Thanks, Corey. We're looking back again at the storm that's just towards the southwest. We're in Daviess County. This is where the tornadic part of the storm is in Daviess County right now. Again, we have extended warnings that continue for Grundy and Livingston. The tornadic threat is not there yet. So we're going to zoom in at this specific spot where I'm looking at still the tightest rotation, and we're just now southeast of Civil Bend. So again, it's going a little bit more towards the northeast. So Jamison needs to be getting in their tornado safe spot. But if you live on the eastern side of Civil Bend and you live along State Highway DD, which is this black line here, State Highway DD, you need to be in your tornado safe spot. And if you live between Civil Bend and Jamison, in between 35 and then along what is going to be our State Highway DD, crossing over to Missouri 13, which is running through Jamison, you need to be in your tornado safe spot. So right here, State Highway DD is where we're seeing that rotation. Again, this has been observed, so you need to be getting in your tornado safe spot as quickly and calmly as possible. These have picked up a little bit of speed, 40, 45 miles per hour. So they were once around 20, 25. So they are a little bit faster in nature now. And I'm going to zoom out and track this out for you because this is likely going to go to Jamison soon. I do think Gallatin right now, I don't think that we're going to see this tornadic part of the storm moving through your area at this point. If it takes more of an easterly track, I'll be sure to let you know. So we're going to go east now. I'm going to go a little bit more towards the northeast. Around 422 moving into Jamison. So right now it's 414. Let me move this back over. Again, on the left side of your screen is the storm that we're tracking right now. So 422 in Jamison. So within the next 3 minutes or so, you need to be getting in your tornado safe spot. 424 Grand River Church, and then 427 in Barnett School, near Barnett School. So that's going to be at the end of this polygon that we've got going on here. So we've got the one tornado warning that's ongoing right now, the one that I've just been tracking out. I'm going to send it back over to Corey. He's got some more information on those storms that are moving through the northeast.
Yeah, hey, Melissa, the thunderstorm warning that was capable of producing a tornado is now a tornado warning. Again, this is in Mercer County, the same spot that just got hit with a confirmed tornado. So just get your bearings again. Here's KC. We're up I-35, and we're also going out to the east. This is the tornado warning storm I'm going to be investigating here and taking a closer look at. So here's where the polygon is. It's also extending out of our viewing area there into Putnam County. But we're looking at this red polygon here. This is along areas of Highway 65 and extending off through 136. This is where the tornado warning is. I'm going to look at the language from the National Weather Service. It's radar indicated, so not observed. That's what that red box means. Radar indicated rotation, public report of a funnel cloud, which I just mentioned earlier. This is going to be located near Princeton or 19 miles north of Trenton, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. So we're watching that. And I'm going to look at some of the rotation that we have. And I'm going to show you right, this is where we had, this is the correct tornado report here, right near Princeton. So it's very close to where already a tornado formed pretty shortly before this. We're looking at this general rotation, though. I'm going to zoom out here, look if we can get into our other radar. No. So this is probably where the rotation would be, right around here, although it looks to be counterclockwise. But hey, tornadoes can still form in a counterclockwise fashion that we're watching here in Princeton. Moving off to the east, and right before I send it to you, Melissa, I'm going to track this out. And also, I can't help but notice there, it's out of our viewing area, but this rotation looks very strong along Highway 36 in Putnam County. I'm going to put the tracker on. It's going 40 miles per hour where that rotation is. It's a radar indicated tornado warning, again, off to the north and east of the KC Metro. So if it were to hold its structure, Newtown, I should say, 4:28 would be the arrival time, 4:35 Medicine, Thomas Union Church, 4:36. So those are all the spots that we're going to be looking at there. Barrettstown School as well at 4:41. I'm sending it back to you, Melissa.
Thank you, Corey. Davies, Grundy, Livingston counties still have the tornado warning that's in effect until 4:45. It's 4:17 right now. Again, this tornado has been confirmed. So we're looking at confirmed tornado. So if I zoom in, we're going to go back to our velocity and our winds. We've got our rotation still in between Civil Bend and Jameson. So right where we're seeing the red and green mating together again, red is away from the radar. The radar's down towards the southeast. So we've got red and we've got green going towards. That's where we get that counterclockwise rotation. So it's going to be going through Jameson. So Jameson needs to be in their tornado safe spot. It will be crossing over Missouri 13. And looks like we've got another cross street, that's State Highway P, that runs west to east on the eastern side of Jameson. So we're looking at State Highway P for this to be tracking along after it crosses Missouri 13. So we've got Missouri 13, we're crossing off. It's going to go along this black line. So Jameson needs to be in their tornado safe place as quickly as possible. And looks like we may just have, let me zoom out here. There is, I wanted to make sure there wasn't an update, but it looks like they added a severe thunderstorm warning. That's for the parent thunderstorm. So we still got our tornado warning. Let me go back here, and it looks like actually we maybe have seen a little bit of tightening of the rotation, still just east of Jameson. So Jameson, as quickly as you can, be getting in your tornado safe spot. Again, that is in the most interior part of your home, your apartment, and on the lowest floor, away from exterior windows and doors. We will be crossing over Missouri 13. We know this is moving 45 miles per hour. These storms now picked up a little bit of speed. They were going 20, 25. And so this is going to be crossing over Missouri 13 and then going along State Highway P. So I am going to put a tracker on here and then I'll send it back over to Corey. Jameson, it's likely knocking on your door at this point. Around 422 is when we're indicating where this is moving over Jameson. Again, I want you to be in your tornado safe spot as quickly as you can right now. And then we're looking at Grand River Church. That is going to be around 423. So just a minute after Barnett School, 428, so in about 8 minutes. And then we are looking at McClung School. That's around 432. So again, it's going to jog right along that black line you see on your screen. That's State Highway P. So it's going to jog along State Highway P and then progress off towards the east. I'm going to send it back over to Corey for a check of the storms to the northeast.
Thank you, Melissa. I also want to add here that we have, let me go back to it. Public believes funnel cloud is on the ground north of Spickard. So we're watching that. That was the storm I was just talking about. So again, I like to just reset, get your bearings. There's Kansas City, and there's where all the storm's tornadic and severe activity is. So I'm going to be checking in on this storm right here. That's in Mercer County. I'm going to zoom in to that right now. There we go, Princeton. And they said north of Spickard. So we're looking at this general area. Again, we're watching that north of Route 65 along areas of I-39, but it's racing 40 miles per hour out to the east. And I got to add here, Unionville. We just got a picture. I don't know if you saw that there, Melissa, from, tornado on the ground there. And that's why they have that. Where did it? I think they still, well, anyway, they do have that confirmed tornado on the ground over there. So we're watching out for all of that, too. And that's near again in Unionville. So that's a white. So that, I mean, that's a considerable tornado warning out for them over there. So we're watching out for that, right? A little overwhelming, right? You're seeing a lot of boxes here, a lot of tornadic activity. This is how I would just phrase it, right? Anywhere that's Princeton and eastward, that's east of Highway 65 along areas of Highway 136. So now we're in Mercer County. We're pushing the Putnam County, right? Get in your safe space right now. Confirmed tornadoes on the ground. Get in your safe space. Again, that is lowest level of a sturdy structure, right? Car's not going to do. Mobile home is not going to be safe enough. And that's usually the bathroom. Lowest level interior room, I should say, that's the bathroom. Put as many walls between you and the dangerous storm as possible and the winds.
Thanks, Corey. They just updated that tornado warning too. Damaging tornado, it's radar confirmed, particularly dangerous situation. So located near Unionville, moving east at 30 miles per hour. So around 30 miles per hour is where we're looking at. Again, Corey just tracked that out. So Corey, I'm going to do a quick check-in with a tornado warning, and then I'm going to send it back over to you to take a look maybe a little bit closer to street level for those storms that are up towards the northeast. Does that work for you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're looking at Davies, Grundy, Livingston County. The good news is about this tornado warning is there's no longer a black box around it. So we're back to radar indicated for the tornado warning that's moving through Davies, eventually towards Grundy and Livingston County. So I'm going to zoom back in on our radar indicated rotation. Let me toggle on, see if I can get a better picture here with our radar. Let's see if we can get a better picture. Doesn't look quite to be the case. So right now, Jameson needs to be in their tornado safe spot. It's 423. I mentioned around 422. It's going to be moving through. We know it's going off towards the east. Jamesport is going to be next. If I take a look at these streets that are to the east, we're at Missouri 190 and then Missouri 6. So Missouri 190 and then Missouri 6. It's going to be moving to the east, crossing over Missouri 190. We're going to be south of Brimson, and we're going to be possibly just north of Jamesport. So I want Jamesport to be getting in their tornado safe location. I'm going to put a quick track on this, and I'm going to send it back over to Corey. I will also mention that radar indicating around 1-inch hail right in this similar spot near Jameson too. So maybe seeing some hail with this storm moving through. So right now, 423, 429 in Barnett School, 429, and then 433 McClung School, Jamesport around 436, so in about 8 minutes or so, and then 438 Prairie Center School. So I'm going to send it back over to Corey to take a look at those storms that are off towards the northeast. Again, we have seen multiple reports from those storms that are off towards the northeast up towards Mercer County. Corey?
Hey, Melissa. Yeah, so we're looking at a impressive batch of storms and tornadic activity and tornado warnings. Again, Mercer and Putnam County here. This would be Mercer County. This would be Putnam County. Again, racing off to the east. Again, kind of like I said, right, if you're anywhere east of Highway 65, I believe that's 65. Let me just double check. I want to be seeing the right information here. Yep, Highway 65. Anywhere east of there, right, be in your safe space right now. Most interior room, lowest level, usually your bathroom in the basement. Okay, and that's along Highway 138 as well. This is a confirmed tornado, and that white box means it's considerable. It means it's causing enough damage for them to upgrade that. They're near Unionville along areas of Highway 138. And yeah, they're saying, right, they can see a large tornado northwest of Unionville, right around there. So that's all racing off there. Newtontown, Unionville, Pollock, York, Buchanan, right, from naming out your community, Princeton. Get in your safe space right now. So I'm also going to go to our storm relative velocity up there. Yeah, it just jumps out. So we're watching this area of rotation here at Princeton that could have produced a funnel cloud that touchdown that was north of Spickard. Now that area of rotation is off to the north and east of there, just south of Highway 36, again, pushing off to the east. But man, look at this rotation here. That does not look good near Unionville. That is a really strong rotation indicator there. And right northwest of Unionville, that looks extremely impressive there with that rotation. There around Highway 136 in Unionville. Again, confirmed damaging tornado around there in Unionville, and that's pushing off to the east, northeast. So Howland, Omaha, Hartford, right, Cincinnati, Moulton. Now we're getting into Iowa. It's a little out of our area. Maybe they don't get our signal out there, but if you know anyone over there, please let them know about this tornado warning that's racing off to the north and east over there. And the radar presentation looks pretty extreme, so please make sure you're taking cover, getting to the lowest level, most interior room.
Thanks, Corey. We're going back to the storm that's just to the south. We've got Davies, Grundy, and Livingston counties tornado warning in place until 4:45. Again, 4:20, almost 4:27 right now. I did want to give an update. There are some storm shelters that are open in Davies County. So that is going to be the Davies County Sheriff's Office, that it's open and available, as well as the Davies County Library as a tornado shelter open in Gallatin. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back again, take a look at what's going down in this storm right now. We're going to zoom in again. Looks like the structure is getting a little bit better to me. At once, the structure was maybe losing a little bit. The structure again picking back up. So we are just now northeast of Jameson. So it took maybe a little bit more of a northeaster jog. Right here where we're seeing these two kind of pixels close together. So we're just northeast of Jameson now. As it moves off towards the east, it's going to be tracking along State Highway P. Let me move this up a little bit further so you can see where the kind of cross streets are. So we are past Missouri 13, and now we are just jogging north of State Highway P. So that is this black line right here, and it looks like they just updated the tornado warning box. They moved it up a little bit further towards the north. Looks like we're getting a new radar scan in here too. So let me reset here. Take a look at the new update to the tornado warning. So it looks like now we've got two. So that's what ended up happening. So we've got two tornado warnings now. So there is the one that we've been tracking for portions of Davies, Grundy, and Livingston. Back behind that, we're looking at another tornado warning that's in place on now the northwestern side of Davies County. So we've got DeKalb County, Davies County, and then this is going to go up towards Gentry and Harrison. So that goes until 5 o'clock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back, track out the storm that's in southeastern portions of Davies County, and then we're going to go back up to this new tornado warning. So we're now just right the east of Jameson. Again, if I zoom out, you can see the end of the polygon box on the bottom of your screen. I know there's a lot of boxes that we're seeing on here. Actually, let me turn them off. There we go. Okay, so we are now still in between that State Highway P, tracking along that. We'll be crossing over State Highway K. So here's P and here's State Highway K. This is where it's going to cross, and it's going to continue to jog just along State Highway P, and then to the north, where it's going to go in between will be State Highway B. So that rotation is in between State Highway B, State Highway P, and now we're east of Jameson and east of Missouri 13. But a quick track on here, and then we'll go to the new tornado warning, and then I'll send it back over to Corey. Unless, Corey, do we have any more information on those storms up towards the northeast? I could send it to you first, and then we'll take a look at the storms that are moving just behind this current tornado warning.
Yeah, hey, Melissa, scanner traffic reporting multi-vortex tornadoes. That means a very strong and violent tornado near Highway 136, just west of Unionville. And I want to show you all the tornado reports that we've gotten here around the area. So we have two. Mercer's blocking one of them. We have four in our viewing area, I should say. We have that one that's near Camden and Pattonsburg. And then the ones that we've been watching off here, the north and east in Mercer and Putnam County, one in Princeton, one in Somerset, and this is the multi-vortex one that's just west of Unionville along areas of Highway 136. So I'm going to go to the relative velocity. Again, that's what we look at for rotation. Definitely two areas of rotation that are sticking out to me. Sorry, I'm zooming in and out here a little bit just to get my bearings and just see if there's anything around there to look out for. But yeah, definitely there's two areas of rotation. One that's now crossing into Putnam County along areas of Highway 136. This is Newtontown. We're watching this area of rotation. Again, it still looks, I should apologize. This is the other radar. So this means it is clockwise rotation. This is going towards it, away. So yep, this is counterclockwise rotation that we're watching. Latest scan does look a little weaker, but still enough to have a tornado warning there near Newtown that's moving off to the east, and then this one in Unionville. This is an impressive radar presentation that's showing extremely fast rotation around Unionville. Again, multi-vortex tornado, and they have that considerable tag on it, which means it's not just a tornado on the ground, it's a damaging tornado on the ground. Unionville, Howland, Mendota, Omaha, Hartford, along areas of 136 and areas of Highway 129. Get in your safe space right now. This is a large and violent tornado. I'm actually, before I send it over to you, Melissa, I'm going to take a look at some of the velocities here. Yeah, gate to gate shear, 158 miles per hour, and that velocity that's just going towards the radar is 125 miles per hour. I mean, I don't want to jump to assumptions of the EF scale there, but it could be at an EF3 level or higher just looking at the velocity there, Melissa.
Thanks, Corey. It's 4:31, almost 4:32. Just kind of wanted to give a reset of where we're at, what's going on. The Kansas City Metro right now is dry. Storms are ongoing in our northeastern counties. We've been tracking several tornado warnings that have tracked all the way along from west to east along our northern counties. So right now in the Kansas City Metro, there's nothing going on. Likely just hot and humid at this point. But I am going to be watching some storms that are trying to fire up closer to Atchison County, Kansas. Again, what we expect to see over the next couple of hours is cells that are popping up that then eventually try to conglomerate it into a cluster or a line and then move a little bit further down towards the south. Could possibly be in the metro area between about 7 and about 10 p.m. So we're going to be watching that. But right now, the imminent threat is up towards the northeast. The Kansas City Metro has nothing to do with storm activity at this point. So again, as a reminder, there is a tornado watch that is in effect for the I-70 corridor and the Kansas City Metro area. So the Kansas City Metro is in a tornado watch, but tornado warnings are off towards the northeast right now. That tornado watch continues until 9 p.m. So here's a look at radar. We've got a few tornado warnings that are ongoing. There are 3, and they're up in the northeastern areas right now. So I'm going to zoom in. I've been tracking the storm that has been moving through Daviess and Grundy County. There is another tornado warning that's back off towards the west. I'm going to complete what we were looking at for Daviess and Grundy County, as it's likely going to go into Grundy here shortly. And then I'm going to go back and take a look at the other tornado warning, because I do think these 2 spots may get raked over again based on our radar showing where these tornadoes are going. So let me zoom out. We've got Jamison to the east. I think it did take a little bit more of a northerly jog. So now we're looking at rotation where the red and the green are meeting right here. And if I believe this is going to be State Highway K. So it take a little bit more of a northeasterly jog. We're State Highway K. We're in Daviess County. And as it goes off towards the east, it will be crossing over State Highway B and then 190, Missouri 190. So let me zoom in a little bit closer, then we'll kind of look at the other tornado warning that's ongoing.
Chase, a report of a brief tornado with the storm in Jamesport there that you're looking at. Yeah.
Thank you, Corey. So we were looking at Jamison, we were looking at Jamesport. We're just now to the northeast of these 2 spots. We're south of Gilman City. We're southeast of Coffee. I'm going to put a quick track on here and then look at the backside of this specific storm, because it also is possibly producing tornado as well. Tornado warning there. So right now, 434, 442. So in about 8 minutes, Prairie Center School, 445, Ashbrook Chapel, Historical, 447, Raccoon Church. So this is the storm we're looking at in Daviess going into Grundy County. Let me zoom out and show you what's kind of going on here, because we've got 3 storms now, 3 separate tornado warnings. Yes, 3 separate ones. So Daviess has 3 separate tornado warnings ongoing right now. So if you look at this, we've got 3 separate storms, 1 supercell off towards the east crossing over to Grundy. We've got 1 coming in on the southwestern side coming into Daviess, and then 1 that's on the northwestern side of Daviess that's going to be going up towards the north. So I'm going to kind of look at each one, but as a reminder, we've still got other tornado warnings that are up towards the northeast that Corey has been tracking. So I think for simplistic views, I'm going to see if we can get them all looked at on one specific radar, and then I'll kind of go into each spot here. Let me see if I can get some better radar returns And it looks like I can based on the Omaha radar, Corey, just so you know, if you're going to look at these storms. So right now, to me, again, we've got those 3 separate tornado warnings, but I wanted to show where we're looking at the rotation right now, just kind of on a broad scale. It can kind of get a little bit confusing when we're looking at several different polygons on the screen. So tornado warning we've been tracking moving through Jameson. Tornado warning we're tracking that's going likely right over Weatherby. And then we've got one we're watching up towards the northeast towards Pattonsburg. So I'm going to go back and track this one towards Weatherby. Then we're going to go back up and track the one that's in Pattonsburg. And again, these are all moving east-northeast. So let me zoom back and take a look at what's going on right now towards Weatherby.
Tornado observed
In Weatherby?
That one ahead of Jamesport, Trenton.
Okay. So we're going east.
Yeah,
so this is the one I've been tracking. So the one in Jamesport, moving over Jamesport, will be going into Hickory Creek. Corey, is it still going 40 miles an hour?
Speed
east?
is, let me just take that up real quick. Speed is 30 miles per hour.
30 miles an hour. Okay. So we're right around Jamesport. We're moving through Jamesport again. State Highway F is this black line. So State Highway F, Hickory Creek needs to be in their tornado safe spot. And we are looking at Missouri 6. So in between Missouri 6 and what is State Highway F, if you live in between Jamesport and Hickory Creek, in between Missouri 6 and State Highway F, you need to be in your tornado safe spot as quickly as possible. I'm going to go back over and take a look at the storm that's just towards the east, or excuse me, the west. I'm going to back it up again. As a reminder, there's 3 separate tornado warnings. I do believe that the one we're tracking on the backside that's entering into western portions of Davies is now in between the county line, but Santa Rosa just south of you. Where we're seeing that yellow, again, we have seen a tornado warning go through this exact same spot again. So some of these spots may be raked over more than one time with storms, but also tornado warnings. So this is just on the county line right now, and it will be crossing 35 and 169, or excuse me, 69, going just south of Civil Bend. So I'm going to track this out here towards the east. 442 Fairview School. Right now it's 438. 446 Union Church Historical. 447 Civil Bend. 450 Round Tower School. So if you are in Fairview School area as quickly and calmly as possible, you need to be getting in your tornado safe spot. And then in about 2 or 3 minutes or so, I want anybody who is living near Union Church to be getting in their tornado safe spot as quickly as possible too. You can go there right now, but you need to do so in about 3 minutes. And then Civil Bend around 447 in about 10 minutes. So again, there are 3 separate tornado warnings that are in place. Corey, are you still tracking the one that's off towards the northeast?
Yeah. Hey, Melissa.
Yeah.
And I do expect them off to the north and east here. Just to get our bearings. I'm going to zoom out here. This is the cluster that you're watching here. Now I'm going to be talking about this one that's exiting Mercer County, heading to Putnam County. I do expect them, if they haven't already, I'm just going to check the chat. I don't think they have. They're going to get rid of probably this tornado warning as it's now heading into Putnam County. So Mercer County, I think you're going to get rid of this tornado warning, which is good. But it doesn't mean you're out of the woods here through these afternoon and early evening hours for the threat of tornadoes. But I do expect this tornado warning will go away for you here in Mercer County. It'll move off to Putnam County. I'm just going to double check, right, where that rotation is around where I was checking. Yeah, and it looks to be now in Putnam County. So I don't really see too much there in Princeton County. Good news, but I'm going to send it back to you with those impressive-looking cells and tornado warnings.
Thanks, Corey. I'm going to track this one observed tornado warning. As you mentioned, that one is going to be allowed to expire. I'm going to track the observed tornado, and then can you look back at the 2 other warnings, too, when I come back to you that are in portions of Davies County? Will that work for you? Okay, thank you. So we've got the confirmed tornado that's for portions of Davies and Grundy County. This is still in Davies. This continues till 5:15. Again, it's 4:40 right now. It will be crossing shortly over into Grundy County. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on this specific observed tornado warning, and then I will have Corey take a look at the other 2 warnings as well. So let me zoom in because we've got some pretty impressive returns here on radar near Jamesport moving east. So right now, we're going to be crossing shortly into Grundy County. Again, it may already be just along the border of Grundy County, crossing over Missouri 6, and then going just along 190. So we've got 190 that's tracking here. Here's Missouri 6. And I believe this is one of the storms that we're looking at. Yes, so this is one of the storms we're looking at. Again, there are 3 different tornado warnings ongoing right now for portions of Daviess County. So right now, we're on the very, very east side of Daviess County, crossing over into Grundy County. This has been confirmed tornado. So we are crossing over the county line. We have got Missouri 190 and Missouri 6 that this is going to be tracking along and east. So Hickory Creek needs to be in their tornado safe spot as quickly and calmly as possible. And then we're looking at the potential of Trenton as well, seeing this move through. So I'm watching these 2 kind of spots, but we know that these have been going east and northeast, and it looks like it's going a little bit more towards the northeast here. So now we're getting closer to Missouri 190. Let me toggle on this other radar because we're getting close to where it's kind of in between our radars here. But Trenton, you need to be getting in your tornado safe spot. We are going to be crossing right over the county line. Missouri 190. That runs west to east, likely running right along that and west to east as we cross from Daviess into Grundy County. And then we've got Trenton down the line. Hickory Creek needs to be in their tornado safe spot as well. We push this off towards the east. Trenton, that's going to be in your area within the next 15 minutes or so. But if you live near Antioch Church Historical Site, you need to be in your tornado safe spot as quickly as possible. 454 Big Oak School, and then in Trenton in about 10 to 12 minutes or so. So within the next 5 minutes, if you live in Trenton, I want you to be getting down in your tornado safe place as quickly as possible. 459 Baker School. So we've got several ongoing tornado warnings. If I do a kind of large lookout, we've got 2 other tornado warnings that are on the backside of the observed tornado that we just walked through. So let me go back and track the tornadoes that are on the west side. So let me zoom out here. And now we're going the west side of Daviess County, in between Pattonsburg and Civil Bend. Civil Bend needs to be in their tornado safe spot. This is right along 69 and 35. It's going east. We've got Jamison that's going to be next in the crosshairs. So keep in mind, if you live in Daviess County, there is a good odd right now that you are in a tornado warning. So with that being said, we're going to be talking mainly about Daviess County right now. So there are 3 spots we're looking at, but we need you to be getting in your tornado safe spot as quickly as possible because we could see some areas be getting moved into a tornado warning more than once as these storms move over towards the east. So Civil Bend needs to be in their tornado safe spot. Jamison, you will be next. We've talked about Missouri highways. We've got Missouri 13 that runs through Jamison. We've got 69, and then we're crossing 35. So we've got this area we're watching. It's moving off towards the east, and there is another spot we're watching, which is to the north. I'm going to go up there here real quick. We're now south of Bethany, and in Blue Ridge, where we're seeing radar indicated rotation in Blue Ridge is just south of Blue Ridge, but you need to be in your tornado safe spot right now in Blue Ridge. As well as East 360th Street and Missouri 146. If you live along East 360th Street in Blue Ridge, you need to be in your tornado safe spot. This is moving again east, so it will likely jog along East 360th Street, moving through Blue Ridge and going north of what I believe is, let me move this off towards the east, Melbourne. So now we're just north, we're south of Bethany. So there are 3 separate spots we're looking at, and they're very visible right now on our velocity here. We've got a spot that's crossing over from Davies into Grundy County that's going south of Brimson. We've got a spot that's just south of Bethany going towards Gilman City. You need to be in your tornado safe spot. And another spot we're looking at on the west side of Davies County, crossing over 69 Highway, and will be going and crossing over 35. So 3 separate tornado warnings are ongoing. Again, to get our bearings, I know this is going to be kind of hard to see. We've got several tornado warnings. I'm going to walk off the screen so you can see it. Davies is under multiple tornado warnings right now. We've got Grundy that's going to be seeing confirmed tornado warning on the western side, just moving east of Jamesport. We then, behind that, have another tornado warning that's for western Davies that will be progressing along the same similar track. And we've got the other tornado warning that is going just to the north that does include portions of Harrison County. So to look at this all again, the Blue Ridge spot we're looking at is in Harrison County. So we're in southern Harrison County. We've got Blue Ridge, tornado, radar indicated along 146 and crossing East 360th Street. So we're watching the tornado up there, so Blue Ridge, and if you live east of Blue Ridge, along East 360th Street, you need to be in your tornado safe spot. I'm going to go down towards the southeast and take a look at this tornado that has been confirmed as we're getting closer into the other county. So let me go back to this so you can see. Now we're going into Grundy County. So the Grundy County tornado, I expect them to kind of shave off the backside of Davies. Grundy County is where we're looking at now. So Davies will then only be under 2 separate tornado warnings. And we've got Grundy now that's going to be under that confirmed tornado warning. I am interested to see, because it's 4:48, as they edit this tornado warning, what they're going to do with it. But let's go look at the confirmed tornado. It's going to be just in between Trenton and Hickory Creek. So Trenton, be in your tornado safe spot. And then we've got several highways we're looking at here that's going to be cross streets. We've got 65, we've got Missouri 6. So 65 runs north to south, Missouri 6 is west to east. So Trenton needs to be in your tornado safe spot. We go back again, and again, we've got several tornado warnings that are ongoing for the same similar area. We go back to the west, and now we're in central Davies County. The area of rotation we're looking at, again, is going to go just south of Jamison and cross Missouri 13. So 3 separate tornado warnings we're looking at. However, most of this encompass Davies County and then Harrison County to the north. On the left side of your screen, we've got views of the storms that are up in Davies County. But Jamison needs to be in their tornado safe spot yet again. So keep in mind, we've got the 3 tornado warnings that are ongoing. We've got the observed tornado warning that's moving into Grundy. Then we will have 1 tornado warning moving through central central Davies County that will go through Jamison. And then we've got the one that just clips the northern edge of Davies County, as is southeastern portions of Harrison County. So we've got these 3 separate warnings. I'm going to go back again and look at the observed warning that's now in Grundy County. Trenton needs to be in their tornado safe spot. And then as we go to the west and take a look at what's moving through Jamison, just south of Jamison, in between Gallatin, will cross Missouri 13. So Jamison, I still want you to be in your tornado safe spot. It may go just south of there, and we're going to be north of Gallatin right here just west, southwest of Jameson, it crosses off towards the east, crossing Missouri 13. We've sometimes here seen that over the last hour or so, go a little bit more towards the northeast. That's why, Jameson, I want you to be in your tornado safe spot. I'm going to go back up to the tornado warning that's just north of here in portions of Harrison County. The area of rotation in southeastern Harrison County is now east of Blue Ridge, north of Gilman City, and north of Melbourne. So I mentioned it's going to be tracking along East 360th Street. That is what has happened in the last couple of radar scans. So we're East 360th Street. If you live on the eastern side of Blue Ridge along East 360th Street, you need to be in your tornado safe spot. If you are north of Melbourne, I think you are in the clear. But as we got a new scan, still along East 360th Street, and then we'll be pushing off towards the east. So we've got 3 separate tornado warnings that are ongoing as these storms are actually trying to conglomerate a little bit together. And hopefully as they do so, they're going to lose some of that kind of inflow they've got on the back side of them. But you can still see the very clear hook that these storms have. The one that's in Trenton, moving just south of Trenton, the tornado warning that's for portions of now Grundy County. The good news is that's no longer observed as they updated this. So we're radar indicated rotation. So we have no observed tornadoes now, radar indicated rotation. We've got the storm that's back in portions of Davies, south of Jameson. You see the little hook down there on the southwestern side of the storm. And then we're tracking the one that's in portions of southeastern Harrison County. Looks like we have a live pic of, what is it? Is it the one in Davies? And our chief meteorologist, Luke Doris, is here as well.
Yeah, Melissa, this is an incredible shot that we've got with this is Winston I-35. So we're looking, I believe, northward at this storm. So we're on the south side of the storm, which is the side that you want to be on if you want to get a view if there's a tornado. Because if you're on the north side or the east side, all you're going to get is rain. And this is, we're not sure that we don't have a tornado in there, but we don't see one from that vantage point. We did just have, not long ago though, what looked to be where a tornado would have been. We saw that we were looking right. Let's see here if we got, this is Max 2. I'll have to swap over here to Max 1, guys. Give me just a sec. But what we had seen as that came by was the part of the storm that would have had a tornado in it. Okay, there we go. There we go. So I just came in and we're getting our situation going here.
Do you want to toss back to me, boys?
Yeah, why don't you, while I get, because we had to swap out our Maxes over here. So go ahead, Melissa, you take it out. But yeah, that was an incredible view that we had, and it did give us some information. The reason why this tornado warning right here was at one point confirmed, people had seen it, it was observed, and now these are cyclical. We have 3 cyclical tornadic supercell thunderstorms ongoing at this very moment. And this one has wound up and wound down a couple times. In fact, right about here, there are some researchers, some university researchers that are out trying to deploy drones into the storm for scientific purposes. So that's right near Trenton. And they had a white cone tornado at one point that was seemingly like north of Jamesport. So that's moving eastward, but we did see that part of the storm and it did not have a tornado with it. It's not a confirmation. It just, again, going that it was observed and now it has dropped back into radar indicated. I think the one over by Jameson is the next one to watch, Melissa. This one has been spinning more and more. The rotation's been tightening on it. So why don't you give us a breakdown on that? I'm going to get everything going up over here on my side. You've got Max 1 over there. Okay, so I'll get Max 2 going right here.
Okay, we're looking back at the part of the storm, the tornadic part of the storm that's moving just south of Jameson. So we're now in portions of Davies County, and it looks like we've got Max 2 set up still behind me. So if we get Max 1, but until we do that, I'm going to just shout out some street names for where that radar indicated rotation is at this point. So we're east of Jameson. Looks like we've got our Max up good. So thank you guys. We're east of Jameson now, and we are going to be closer to and crossing over Missouri 13. So we've got Missouri 13 right here. and we are going to be moving along the black line west to east. That's State Highway P. Again, if you've been watching us for a while, especially if you're in Daviess County, you've seen us and you've heard us mention these specific areas pretty much over and over again, as we are seeing several tornadic storms move through Daviess County west to east, moving over the same specific areas twice now. So we're looking at State Highway P. That's where the radar indicated rotation. It's moving along State Highway P. I am going to double check to see how quickly this storm is moving. So let me do a kind of quick look here. Make sure that with the latest update, it's still moving at the time I expected it to be moving at. And that is going to be 35 miles per hour. So a little bit slower than I remember here. So 35 miles per hour, we're moving to the east. And we're looking at right now 4:57. So we're close to 5 o'clock. By 5 o'clock, this is going to be in Barnett School area. So if you live anywhere near Barnett School, be getting in your tornado safe spot as quickly as possible. 5:04, we're looking at McClung School. 5:08 in Jamesport. We know there was a confirmed tornado earlier from a separate cell that did have a confirmed tornado in Jamesport. So Jamesport, I do not want you to let your guard down. Be getting in your tornado safe spot here within the next 3 to 5 minutes or so. 5:10, Prairie Center School. So that's the track for the one storm that's down just in portions now of Daviess County. And Luke, just so you know, I did find that the Omaha radar and our radar just kind of on the fringe right there. I was having a little bit easier time seeing from the Omaha radar versus our radar as well.
Thanks, Melissa.
Yeah.
Awesome job. Thank you so much, too, for, just on Monday night, you and I were working here, and she was calling tornado warnings before they came out, and she's been on it since we and the team has been on it since these things got fired up, and the tornado risk is on the board for not only where we have it now, but as we go into the night. We've got a tornado watch that includes Kansas City until 9 o'clock tonight. Let's do a reset here. I just want to pull the broad view out. Here's Kansas City. Storms have fired up in this zone. There's a little system dropping in, and it kicked them off right here. The most dangerous time for tornadoes is about the next 2 to 3 hours or so. After that, they're probably going to start to go into a cluster, and when they do that, they tend to turn into more of a straight line wind event. Multiple areas of rotation right now. We have 3 tornadic supercells, one of which has been producing off and on tornadoes apparently, that is up here in Daviess County. This is moving in the general direction of Trenton. It's right around Trenton. So there's 3 of them that we're pointing out. That's number 1. There's one that's hidden up in here. This is west of Spickard, and then one over by Jamesport. So multiple tornado warnings. I am sure that your sirens have been going off, your phones have been going off. If you're up in Jamesport, Gallatin, Trenton, it has been noisy because this has been the hot spot. All right, this is where they've been wanting to go. Let's look at a couple warnings here and talk about the counties where they're located. Daviess and Grundy right now. So this tornado warning, there's actually 2 of them right now. That's till 5:15 this evening. So that one's got another 15 minutes left on it. So there's number 1. There's another one over here that's back to the west, though. This one's going to be expiring sooner because we're on the east side. It's this tornado warning right here. That one's by Gallatin, and there's actually been 2 spots of rotation within that parent storm. So there could be another little sneaky area I was talking about to the north. So this tornado warning, I'll highlight it here. This one also, okay, till 5:15. It's the same time. Let me move this out of the way so you can see. That's this highlighted one right here. Both of these at this point are radar indicated. Still, you need to be getting to your tornado shelter. If you're in this area, you see what's going on. These things are lighting up and they're spinning constantly. I mean, everything that's gone up here so far has spun. The Storm Prediction Center has been monitoring this area, saying the threat for not only tornadoes, but strong tornadoes persists here for the next couple of hours. This zone up here is particularly primed for rotating storms. There's a third one that's been up here. Now, it's gone to a severe thunderstorm warning. You can see that in the yellow box. That's the one west of Spickard. We've been keeping an eye on that one for you, but it has lost some of its features. So these 2 tornado warnings, Daviess and Grundy counties, one just north of Gallatin, one north of Trenton. Right now, if you're worried about Kansas City or if you're in the metro or if you're away from this cluster, In our coverage area, at the moment, there's no immediate threat. So that's kind of the broad picture of what's going on at this point. So now the details are, as I pull this out, you can see we've got to watch these storms over here. This is going to be the next batch that gets going, and then they're going to try to pop further south as we go deeper into the night. So it's several hours away, most likely, before we have any imminent threat in Kansas City from what we can tell right now. But we're going to be with you the whole way. If there's anything that's going, and just so you know, our coverage area goes from the Iowa border all the way down to Lacine, west to Lawrence, east over here to Marshall. This is all the KCTV5 coverage area. And if you're in our coverage area and there's a life-threatening situation like a tornado warning, we will have your back. Melissa is going to be analyzing all of these storms throughout the night, and I'll be tracking them out for you. So we've got your back the whole way through. So I'm going to track both of these, Melissa, and then I'm going to toss it to you here in just a minute, and you can pinpoint exactly where the rotation looks to be strongest and where the tornadoes may most likely be. I can tell from my end right here. We're going to start with this one by Trenton. Just looking at that little hook right there. If there were a tornado, it would be right about there. That's literally the storm pulling, it's wrapping the rain around it. So what you're looking at here is the rain. So the tornado would be somewhere in here if it were there. All right. And this one has been going, let me get the latest time. They've been speeding up. This one is east at 30 miles per hour on this storm. So let's get you an idea of when you may expect it where you are. First off, we're talking about, it's like just east of Trenton. It'd be between Trenton and Dunlap right here. This looks like 6. So 6 highway, there's 65, somewhere east of 65, east of Trenton, along 6, near Dunlap, or just west of Dunlap. This up here is going to be some hail. Could be up to the size of possibly golf ball size hail, possible up in this area. Tyndall, you're in a warning, but you don't have any immediate threat of a tornado. There's nothing that's rotating near you. You're in the parent storm, but you're not under the threat of rotation or tornado. That would be down here in this zone. And that's going to be moving toward Galt next. So Galt, you're into the leading part of the storm. That's running east along 6 highway right there. We're talking about Davies County, and moving east at 30 miles per hour. So let's get you a track. All right, starting right about here. Okay, Dunlap, we were just talking about you. If it were to track that way, northeast, it's been moving more east. It might just miss you in Dunlap to the south, but 512. So you got a little bit, 8 minutes, something like that. Get to your safe spot now. If you've got a basement, great. If you don't, not everybody does. Lowest part of your house, as many walls between you and the potential tornado as possible. That's what you'd want to do. If you're in a mobile home, it will not cut it. Great affordable housing, but you cannot be there if there's a threat of a tornado. You just got to find something else. Go to a shelter. If worst case scenario, go to your closest sturdy structure, whether that be a convenience store, whether it be a large store nearby, something like that. That would be a better bet than staying in your mobile home. There's Black Oak School. That was right about the same time, 5:10 to 5:15. Galt, you're out of the warning now, but if it were to continue, then that would be about 5:22 on the current track. We just got an update. There's the latest scan, and now it's a little bit farther east of Trenton. So that's tornado warning number 1. Let's track out tornado warning number 2. This one's a little bit more difficult to discern exactly where it would be. It should be right in this zone, somewhere in here. So east of Jameson. Jameson, you are clear. The tornado would be east. You're under a tornado warning. Is this a new tornado warning that we have?
There's 2 spots of rotation on the northern side.
It's on, I think this one is, we're on the east side of the warning for Jameson. It's traveled through the, so that they issued it back here. It's traveled across the warning. So there it is. That goes till 5:15. It's got about another 10 minutes. That's what that looks like. So it's toward the very eastern edge. And then they extended that one with the next one. So there's actually 2 tornado warning, or 2 potential areas of tornadoes within this one warning right here. This one's about to enter that. So it gets a little confusing. I'm just trying to keep it straight for you. But east of Jameson, northwest of Jamesport. Let's get this one's latest time. Okay, this one's going 35, and it's got a little bit more of a northeast track. And typically what happens is once you see how these two are, they're getting close to one another, they're still independent storms. But once they get close to one another, this one's going to start to get cooler air, rain-cooled air. Looks like we got a new something there. Yeah, that's an extension. So Galt, we were just talking about you. That tornado warning has been pushed over to now include Galt. We said, what, 522? So you, in Galt, you've got, what about, 12, 10, 20 minutes, give or take, something like that, a little less than 20 minutes. Somewhere between 15 and 20 minutes. So Galt, you need to be getting to your tornado shelter, as you are now included in that radar indicated tornado. It's not confirmed anymore, but they may be wrapping themselves cloaked in rain as well. That's something else that will happen as these get older, as the storms get older. But what I was saying is, typically the back ones, they're going to have uninterrupted airflow, and these are the ones that then will strengthen, and this one will start to eventually die out. That's what we'll be watching for. That's how it plays out on paper. It doesn't always play out that way in the real world. So Jamesport moving east at 35. Let's get you an idea of where this is exactly. So this is 190. 190 running north and south right here. 190 highway. This is 6 that runs north and east. So we're talking about Daviess County. We're in Jamesport. And this one's going to be moving east at 35. Let's get you a track on that. Ignore this. I got to change the speed from the last one was 30. And here we go. Just right around Jamesport moving. This one's got more of a northeast to it. New flash flood warning just coming in. That's something else. These things are going to be producing some prolific rain. And we could have some extreme localized rainfall out of this too. Okay, so 522 Hickory Creek, Trenton, you'd be looking at about 530. So Trenton, you guys are dealing with one, then there's another one hot on its heels. So this can cause confusion. And I urge you also, do not wait for sirens, don't depend on sirens. That's not what they're for. It's a very last resort in the event that you're outside and you don't have any other way to get an alert. What you need to do is pay attention to your emergency alerts. Will go off on your phone, and it may go off multiple times. Do not ignore it if it goes off a second time. That could be a second tornado warning like we have here. So we're going to have to wait. Right now, that track is headed toward Trenton, and we just had another close call. There's Spickard. 542 would be the arrival time in Spickard. Galt, another one. So that'd be 2 in Galt. These are just going over. You see the favored track here. That'd be 550. That's beyond the warning. But these are the zones that we've got to watch. Okay, Melissa, let's toss it over to you. See what, if you can diagnose exactly where you think the tornadoes may be if they're there. They're indicated. They're not confirmed, but where they could be.
Yeah, I'm going to go through both. So first I'm going to do kind of an establishing shot to show you where we're kind of looking at. So I've got the storm that's now on the eastern side of Daviess County. So if we zoom in and take a look at where that rotation is right now, that is in between Jameson and Jamesport. So Jameson's here on the left side of your screen. Jamesport is down here on the southeast. This is State Highway P, and if you've been watching, and I know the people in Jameson have had several tornado warnings over the last couple of hours, we're still running along State Highway P. So State Highway P, this black line to the north, that is going to be State Highway B. So we're in between P and B. Where we're seeing the red and the green meet is where we're looking at. So it's going to go east, and it will cross 190. So Missouri 190 is this white line. So if you live in between State Highway B and State Highway P, east of State Highway K, again, we're in Daviess County, you need to be getting in your tornado safe spot. If you live in between State Highway P and K and you live along 190 or east, you need to be prepared to get into your tornado safe spot as quickly as possible. In addition to this, we're also seeing some pockets of hail in the same exact spot, close to around an inch possible, just in between Jameson and Jamesport, south of Gilman City. Just wanted to note that as well. Now let's go off towards the east. We've got the warning that's for Grundy, for Lynn, and Sullivan. I'm going to zoom in on this one. This one's a little bit more difficult to see. We are on the northern side of the radar again. So what that means is it's going to be a little bit more difficult to see. So it's going to be, radar itself is going to be a great tool to discover where specifically the rotation is. And let me just double check to give my best thought process here of where it's going to be, because we're going to be just northwest of Lombardo. So I do think this is going to be, looks like it just got a little bit better of a scan, which is nice. So we are now in between Dunlap and Lardo, excuse me if I'm saying that wrong. We are going to be heading towards Galt. This is Missouri 6. It's likely just south of Missouri 6. So we're looking at this specific spot for that rotation. I'm also watching up here towards Dunlap, but it's going along Missouri 6. Will likely go into Galt soon. So Galt needs to be getting in their tornado safe spot. And then Humphreys later down the line. These have been going between about 30, 45 miles per hour. This part of the storm we've been watching too, east of Trenton now. We're in between Dunlap and Lardo again. And also, because I wanted to update you on some hail too, because there is a regular severe thunderstorm warning that's in place. Hail size close to around an inch. So you've got the tornado warning and you've got the possibility of hail and some strong winds. Luke?
Thanks, Melissa. Yeah, these are going to be, whenever you have a big, these are supercell thunderstorms, whenever you have that, they're going to be able to chuck a lot of moisture, and they've got a really strong updraft. That's how they can produce these tornadoes, and they're going to make big hail. That's something that's going to happen. Now, just looking at these, so here's, again, our broad view. KC's down here. Cluster of storms up here. We have two parent storms, one of which has two areas of rotation. So we've got several tornado warnings. We're looking at sections of Harrison County, Grundy County, Daviess County. It's on the east side of Daviess County now, so this is going to be rolling eastward through Daviess County, then Grundy right here. So Trenton, there's Chillicothe right there in Livingston County, and then there's Milan. And Milan, see what that would be in Sullivan County. So this right here is Lynn. So Lynn, you may have your if you've got a weather radio, it may be going off because there's all county alerts. It means if a warning just clips your county, then your wireless emergency alert or your NOAA weather radio rather may go off. So just want you to know, right now everything's north of you, even though you got just a little sliver of your county that's included in that. Now, I think we've really got to watch this spot back here over by Jamesport. As we switch gears on the radar, I want to show you kind of inside the storm what stands out to me as we look up here. You could just kind of stand back and take the broad view and look at what's jumping out to you here. And there's a couple areas. This is the two areas of rotation I was talking about. One over here south of Spickard. Melissa's been on this for you too. Here's one that's southwest of Galt. It's there. There's good reason for the National Weather Service to have a tornado warning. There's rotation there north of Laredo. That's Laredo. There's Tyndall and Spickard, another little spot there. But compare that with what we see over here by Jamesport. You see this one? That one is much tighter. There's much stronger inflow that we can see from the radar where it's flowing air into it. What I was talking about earlier is that you've got to watch the storms that are kind of all by themselves. They have open doors to just all that thunderstorm fuel, that warm, humid air that you felt today. This storm has more of that than these because of the rain that they're adjusting. That one just tightened up. Southeast of Spickard just tightened up over here by Laredo too. So again, areas that we're watching, and then there's that one by Jamesport. Let me get you tracks on each of these as we reset. So we're looking at just north of Jamesport, just southeast of Spickard, and just north of Laredo. I'm going to go back to the traditional radar here so you can see where these are exactly, and maybe it makes more sense. You're more used to seeing some of these colors. They've been moving eastward at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. So let's see what's new with this warning. This is the latest tornado warning. This is the one that got extended into Galt. We were tracking this one earlier for you. That one goes till 5:45. 5:45, Grundy, Lynn, and Sullivan County. So again, just a little bit of Lynn County. There's Grundy County. If there's a tornado there, it would be in Grundy County. It'd be just north of Laredo. There's another spot that's up here by Spickard. I'll get there in a second. So Galt, it's near or just south of you, just southwest of you, moving more toward Duncan would be the favored track right now. And this one is going east at 30. It's slowed back down a little bit. So tracking this one out for you, let's start right here. There's 30. Okay, so Humphreys at 5:30. Need to be in your shelter. You've got 15 minutes in Humphreys. 5:43 in Duncan. All right, so that would be getting toward the end of the warning. So that's over here on the east side of the warning. There's Milan at 5:53. So in Duncan, you've got about a half hour. You're going to get a lot of rain. You're going to get some hail. And then that right there is the part of the storm that would be the tornadic threat. And then let's go up here by Spickard. I'll zoom in on this spot. You're not going to see it as well It's kind of, this one would definitely be cloaked in rain. This is rain wrapped. If there's something there's spin on the radar, you would not see it. You may not see any of them. Sometimes they're kind of wrapped up back in there and they've got rain around them. That's pretty common. But just so you know. So this one's right about this area. Also, this storm is moving the same way. It's the same parent storm. So let's get you some other spots that you can see how the warnings are. Officially, the National Weather Service doesn't appear to be including this area of rotation as part of the tornado warning because it's way up here. It's outside of these. But we just saw it tighten up, and these storms, they've been producing. I would take caution here, and if I were in Humphreys 535, we talked about you on the last one. Regardless, either way, you've got the chance that there's a tornado moving your way. Rieger at 548, Milan 555. There's Milan. Again, you're on the very edge of that tornado warning. Let's go over here to the other one that's just west of Trenton and north of Jamesport. So this is a different tornado warning, different storm that we've got. Let's see what the latest is with this one. The one that's out ahead of it for Grundy County, that one goes until 5:45. This one, 6. Tornado warning until 6. So this includes part of Grundy County, but also, of course, Daviess County with Trenton and coming in out of Jamesport. All right, so this one's moving east at 30. They're moving at the same speed. Get you some times. It would be right about there. Right, just northeast of Jamesport, and that right there. All right, so Trenton, 532. 549 Laredo, you hear how we're saying the same towns over and over. Melissa was talking about that earlier. You get one, and then there's another one on its heels. That'd be 557 at Galt, and then Humphreys at 604. Okay, pull the view out for you real quick, and then Melissa, I'm going to toss it to you, see if anything's coming through on chat. We do have storm chasers. There are storm spotters. There's researchers out on these storms. It's still daylight. All things that help us as far as relaying information. And if you've got anything, if you're up here and you're seeing anything, if you can safely share it with us. We're on the Facebook stream, and we're here to relay what you see, and we're here to answer questions that you have. So if you are on Facebook or YouTube, any of our live streams, we'll be checking in on those. We'll answer as many as we can. But that's the situation for now. There's our cluster of thunderstorms. There's Kansas City. And we've got to watch these over the next several hours. It's going to take some time. No immediate threat for Kansas City, though we're under a watch until 9. But we'll be watching how these storms evolve as we go into the evening. All right, Melissa, let's see what you got over there on your side.
I've got a couple of things. Spotters in the Grundy County area saying the storm east of Trenton is outflow. That was from one of the emergency managers. And that there was public reports of the storm near Highway 6 in Daviess County. There being a funnel cloud. So that was a report as well. However, I do want to let you know that keep in mind there was that kind of, I wouldn't say random tornado warning, but on the western side of Daviess County that didn't have any storms in it. That's gone now. They allowed that to expire. But I am going to go back in and kind of get your bearings again and zoom back into where we're looking at the tightest rotation of the storm being. I am now looking at the tornado warning that's in place till 6. That's for Daviess and Grundy County. This is likely crossing over Grundy County right now. So if we zoom in, you can see we've got the blue spots on radar here. Right in this vicinity, we're south of Melbourne, we're north of Jamesport, we are along 190, basically right on the county line of Daviess and Grundy County. So it's going to be crossing over. Daviess soon to be in the clear. However, there's still a flash flood warning that's in effect, but it will go along 190 and cross over Missouri 6. So Missouri 6 will eventually go west to east, and that's when it will cross over. But Trenton is going to be next in the line as it progresses off towards the east. So 190 crossing over from Daviess into Grundy County right now is where that rotation is for the storm that's on the western back half that Luke had just tracked. If I zoom in even further, I can get a few cross streets here. We've got State Highway 190, Highway P that turns into Southwest Highway WW is where we're seeing the best area of rotation right now. Here's Missouri 6. It will cross over Missouri 6 and then head towards Trenton, 30 miles an hour towards the east. So it will likely stay for the most part probably south of I-190, but keep in mind 190 goes up to the north. So it will go a little bit further towards the north. We know sometimes these take a more northeasterly track. We want to account for that. If that happens, it's going to go just along Missouri 6 and then just in between 190. I'm then going to take a look at our hail tracker, not as bright as it once was, maybe some small hail, quarter-sized hail at best, ongoing right now closer to the southern side of Melbourne. And again, starting to move into Trenton because Trenton is going to be next. I'm going to move over towards the east to take a look at the tornado warning that's for Grundy, Lynn, and Sullivan. And this again is just about to cross over the county border. This one's a little bit more difficult to see, but if there's going to be rotation here, it's likely over Galt right now. And again, we've got to make sure, because of where radar is located, near Galt and just maybe south of Galt, but I want Galt to be in their tornado safe spot. We've got 139 that runs west to east and Missouri 6. So we're right there along the line. Humphreys is going to be close. So Humphreys getting in your tornado safe spot too. And then that is going to cross where the end of 139, Missouri 139 will end. So there's those two kind of looks at the tornado warning. This one did have more impressive hail with it. Still seeing that, as you can see, some brighter blues here. Going towards Galt, 1.2, so half dollar sized hail will be a possibility there. And then we'll be crossing over county line towards Humphreys. So that's kind of a diagnosis. I didn't want us to get lost in me looking at several different products to know that what specific storm we're looking at. Luke?
Thanks, Melissa. It's interesting. You were just looking at the storm that's over by, it's northeast of Jamesport. Just north of Jamesport, just east of Jameson. That one is a spot where we've got strong rotation right now. There's actually a researcher that's out there, the group of researchers trying to deploy drones. I'm talking about this storm right here. And they had a reported tornado at 4:30 an hour ago from a different storm, from that first one. So that's where we're seeing yet again the same spot, or in the same spot. Is where we're seeing the strongest rotation. Okay, I want to take a moment here. It's 5:23. If you're just joining us, we've got multiple tornadic supercell thunderstorms that have at times produced confirmed tornadoes. All right, so it's up in our northeastern counties. We cover a very large area. Of course, we're going to be watching you in Kansas City, too, as we go throughout the night. Melissa is on radar analysis. She's going to be tracking everything. There will be nothing that escapes her. I promise you. She's on it. And we've got all the information coming in from our spotters, from the National Weather Service. We've got your back. And I'm going to be tracking everything out for you, too. So as long as there's a threat, if you're in our area, we'll have you covered. If you do wish to watch the CBS Nightly News, we are simulcasting that on KSMO. That's our sister station, Digital 5.2, or you can go to channel 52, and you can see it there. So if that's what you're looking to watch and you're not under an immediate threat, we are not under immediate threat in Kansas City, then you can switch over and you can catch your regularly scheduled program on KSMO. So I just want to let you know about that and be checking back in, and we'll keep you up to speed too as the night wears on, because I do want to emphasize that this is the beginning of the event. This is the second, maybe third inning, and we're going to have more storms develop. You see these up here, and then the general progression will be southward as we go deeper into the night. In fact, I'll show you this is a computer forecast, a computer simulation, and just real quickly, one of the best ones that we've got, by the way. It updates every single hour, and look at what it's trying to do by about 9 o'clock. Now, it's not a guarantee. This is a computer forecast. Sometimes they miss it, but they do have storms approaching the Kansas City area and dropping south as we go into the night. We do have the tornado watch, by the way, in effect until 9 p.m. So that's our current threat zone. With all that said, let's get back to it. If you're under a tornado warning, then we are going to pinpoint all of that for you. Multiple storms up here. Looks like we just got an update here. That's why we're flashing near Trenton. That's why that tornado warning was just flashing. These are radar indicated. We do not know that there's a tornado in either one, but it could be. And we ought to treat it as such, as they have a history of doing that. This red box that you see here, more of the maroon, this is a flash flood warning. These are going to make some real heavy rain. And you get one, and then you get another, and then you get another, and you're going to stack up potentially. Some of our simulations were upwards of 6 inches of rain before it's all said and done. So that would be, in some areas, pretty remarkable flooding. Okay, so tornado warning number one, the one that was just flashing, I'm looking near Trenton. This is near Trenton. We have this one now. Let's see what the update is. Goes till 6 p.m. It's 5:25. So we've got 35 minutes left on this warning. We're looking at Grundy County. Trenton, you're in the middle of this thing, and that's actually good for you because you're going to get hail, and this one could have hail where you see that white body. So this is the parent severe thunderstorm. At times, these have been making up to 2-inch diameter hail. Melissa, was it the one that was farther east that was making bigger hail?
Yes, larger hail, half dollar size.
Yeah, on our side, at times it had these have potential to produce big hail, but what she was seeing on the current stuff is not huge, like $half to quarter size hail. Gusty winds, all that. Down here, though, this would be the zone. This is what, 65. 65 highway south of Trenton is where we could have a tornado. That would be the rotation spot, all right? So this is going to be, let's see here, this would be 65. 65 runs, it's got this little jog in it, goes north and south, runs just east of Trenton. East of Hickory Creek, you're okay. The rotating part of the storm would be to your east. Brimson, you're okay. Tyndall, you're under a tornado warning, but you're not under the threat of a tornado. It's way to your south. All right, there's Trenton and Dunlap. I think you're going to be okay too. It's too early to be sure, but you're probably all right. But if you're east of Hickory Creek in this rural part of Grundy County, there's 65 highway. This is 6 highway. South of 6 highway, near 65 where it runs north and south. This is north of Farmersville. It's just crossing over 65 highway north of Farmersville. Here's Laredo to the east. We're looking at Grundy County. That right there is a possible tornado. Something that we could be looking at too is the debris tracker just from time to time. I'm sure that it would go confirmed if there were anything there, but it's something that we can look at periodically. And this one has been going, let me confirm the updated time. I missed that earlier. It's been going about 30. That's what this one's doing. So let's get you an updated track here and time this out. Laredo, you're going to be the next city that's in line for this one, and it is going east. They've been moving pretty well east, right about there. Let me redo that. I'm just a little bit slow because I'm a little too zoomed in here. So we're looking at the northeast part of our coverage area. This is Grundy County. Tornado warning in effect until 6 p.m. So Laredo, 6:41 or 5:41 rather. So you've got something like what, 12 minutes before it would be on your doorstep. I know you're probably tired of it because you just had another one come through. You know, just dealt with another threat. But this is not the kind of event where you can pop down to your shelter and then all clear, you pop back out. This is one where you just ought to stay put, all right, until we're truly all clear, which we are not yet. So Laredo, tornado shelter, whether that's your basement, whether that's a low part of your house, whether that's a bathroom is another good spot. The plumbing in the walls makes it extra strong. That's where you need to be going. And Banner School, that would be at 5:49 for Banner School. That's right here, by the way. So there's Banner School, there's Laredo. This is Trenton, it's south of Trenton. Humphreys, I think you're going to be okay, but that'd be about 6 o'clock in this kind of arc down there, east of Banner. If you're over here in this area, south of Humphreys, it'd be about 6 p.m. arrival time for you. We've also, I can see the First Warn weather tracker's out, and they're on some of the storms too. At least I see some of the parent storms. There's Duncan that we have, and Duncan, you'd be about 6:11, and Purdon. Milan, 6:22. Milan's outside of the range of that tornado warning. Purdon, we'd be watching for you too. That'd be sometime around 6 or 6:10. That's tornado warning number 1. Looks like, Melissa, no, it's still there.
It's still there, yeah.
Okay, I just missed it for a second. Here's tornado warning number 2. You see these appendages right there? The storm curling, it's wrapping as it circulates. That tells us it's a supercell, the kind of storm that produces tornadoes. The storm is spinning, it is rotating. That's one. Here's the other one, all right? So that's how we track these things. This right here is the dividing line between the two storms. There's Duncan. Duncan, you're in leading the forward flank of that storm. So you're gonna get into some heavy rain. It's gusty. There's probably gonna be some hail with it too. The tornado, if it's there, would be to your west. So Galt, you're okay. Galt, you're okay. Milan, you're okay right now. This is Milan right here, right there. Browning and Duncan, 2 spots that we've got to keep a real close eye on as this moves towards you. So let me get the update with this one. 5:45, another 15 minutes on this tornado warning. So portions of Grundy, Lynn, and Sullivan. So here's what Lynn County, it's moving into See what? There's Lynn. We've got Grundy and then Sullivan. So it's going to be moving. I think it's going to miss most of Lynn County. If I'm in Lynn County, I'm feeling pretty good about it. Okay, so west of Duncan, here's Duncan. Right there, let me get you the highways, and then we'll put a time on it, and we'll see what Melissa's got coming in on her side, and then we're going to check out what you guys are asking on Facebook. I want to make sure that we're answering your questions. This is 159. 159 highway right here runs north and south. It'd be right on or just east of 159 highway, west of Duncan, southeast of Galt, and running east and west. This highway right here is 6. So this is 6 highway, and then 159 south of 6 highway is where that one would be. And it is also going east at 30. So these storms, everything that went up here in this zone, in this area, has produced tornado warnings at least, and at times we've had confirmed tornadoes. So Duncan, 5:44, about less than 15 minutes in Duncan would be the arrival time of the possible tornado. Enterprise would be at 5:53. North Salem, that would be 6:03, and Penn, that's outside the, it's actually even getting outside of our coverage area. But that would be at 6:17. So reset our bearings here real quick so you can see where you are in relation to these storms. There's a small cluster of them that's way on the northeast side. This is not widespread yet. These are dangerous storms, of course, anytime there's a possible tornado. We had one earlier today that was over here. It was by Unionville, and it was a multi-vortex, powerful tornado on the ground. It was outside of our coverage area, but just barely. And that's the way the atmosphere is set up today. It's just not everything's going to, do that, but it shows us the potential. We've had confirmed tornadoes out of these cells. It's dangerous. That's why we're on here. That's why we're going to stay with you until this threat's gone, too. So, Melissa, what are you seeing over there? Any updates on your side?
Not really seeing any updates from the National Weather Service, but I did want to mention that some of these storms, we've been tracking multiple spots of rotation because as these are progressing off towards the east, you can see the backside of it really starting to take shape in a little bit of different ways, starting to pull down further down towards the south. So as we kind of look at some of these storms, they're getting more of a signature than they were prior. That's why the spots that we've been tracking and watching for those couplets may be changing a little bit because the backside of it is where we're starting to see kind of those stronger winds be pulled in. So I wanted to look at the storm just down towards the south. So again, the storm that I had shown that I'm going to track, well, not track, but kind of analyze here first, is the one that's in Grundy. It's crossing over, or excuse me, not crossing over. That's another warning polygon. So that's my apologies. Grundy. And as we go and take a look at our storm relative velocity, looks like mine just did something a little funky. So let's see if I can refresh it here. Let's use the Omaha radar instead. So we're down on the southeastern side now, closer to Farmersville. That's where we're likely seeing that rotation. So we're just south of, Luke, can you remind me how to pronounce Laredo again? Laredo, thank you. Farmersville, along the edge of the county line. We're in the southern county line going towards Alpha. Again, because sometimes we get a little bit more of that inflow on the backside, may go a touch up towards the northeast in between Laredo and Alpha. But if I kind of check back in, taking a look at some of the hail, there is some hail towards Trenton, smaller hail, likely quarter-sized hail. Trenton over towards Dunlap. I'm going to go over to the other tornado warning for Grundy and Lynn and Sullivan. And Luke, looks like they just issued the extension of that warning, just so you are aware.
Thank you.
And then Grundy, Lynn, and Sullivan, I'm going to zoom in on the spot we're looking at here, which there are a few spots that are kind of showing up to me here on radar. And the most likely spot is going to be down closer to Duncan. So Duncan's likely going to be on the kind of next track for this, but it's going to be south of Missouri 6. And you can see where rotation kind of the tightest, south of Humphreys, south of 6th, will be moving and crossing over Missouri 5 eventually. So it's in between Missouri 139 that runs north to south and then over to Missouri 5. So there's a few spots that I'm looking at here based on the structure of the storm. To me, the better possibility of where we're looking at for the area of rotation is going to be on the southern end, right just south of Duncan at this time. So it will be crossing over Missouri 5. It is going south of Missouri 6. Just go just south of Duncan and then move over towards Cora. This specific one, we've been watching maybe for some larger sized hail, about $half sized hail. Still showing up on radar as $half sized hail, but we know it's warned for a little bit larger. That is along Missouri 6 and 139. So this will be moving to Duncan too. So we know that the tornadic threat moving just likely south of Duncan over and crossing over Missouri 5. However, because maybe it goes a touch to the north, Duncan be getting in your tornado safe spot. And with this new update here, it looks like the hail just probably got a little bit larger. And then I'll send it back over to Luke. About 1.5 inches. So now we're getting closer to ping pong sized hail. East of 139, south of Missouri 6, heading towards Duncan. Luke.
All right, we have now it looks like there's one area that is within our coverage zone. So once we start getting into Sullivan County, I know that people see us there. We want to, be there for you, especially if there's a big threat. But the one that we've got that's in Grundy County, so that's our northeastern, one of our far northeastern counties, north of Chillicothe. Tornado warning. It's radar indicated. We do see a spot near Laredo. If you're in Laredo right now, that'd be the most likely area for a potential tornado. It's not as tight of rotation as what we've been seeing earlier, but I do want to show you. And we'll track it out. Of course, there may be something there. We're going to treat that with respect, no doubt. And we're going to serve you up there in Grundy County. We don't have any immediate threats in Kansas City. I know a lot of the questions, if you're just joining us, would be, well, what is it done? Is it not a threat for Kansas City? You see these right here? These are flaring up. This will be the next part that gets going for us. Now, the computers simulate that these are going to flare. We'll see. And what I mean by that is that they're going to go and turn into strong storms. We'll see. Sometimes the computers say that and it doesn't happen, and we hope it doesn't. But this is the next zone to watch. In fact, earlier we had some tornado researchers that have been on these storms up here, north of Chillicothe, and they're abandoning those and they're moving more toward these to get in position to see what's going to happen with them. Are these going to be the next ones that could go strong to severe to tornadic? That's what we're going to be tracking. So right now, not an immediate threat, but this will be our next zone to watch. And then if these do get going, those would be the ones that would eventually threaten Kansas City. It'd be after 7 tonight. It'd probably be more like 8 or 9 or 10 before they could make it down here. Eventually, if they do get going, they will start dropping south. If they don't get going, then we wouldn't have a threat in Kansas City. So that's the zone that we've got to watch for the metro specifically. Tornado watch in effect currently until 9. We've got the First Warn weather tracker that is out looking at some of these storms. You can see them from a distance. We'll be able to have a good vantage point of what they're looking like, how they're building. But that's the latest that we have there. Okay, so let's zoom back in on our tornado warned storm. Again, dangerous storms up here. History of producing tornadoes. Right now it's near Laredo. We'd be looking at sections of Grundy County, northern Lynn County. You're in a tornado warning. This is northern Lynn County. This one would eventually, if it stays on the track, kind of ride right along the county line. If there's a tornado, it'd be right there, right about Laredo or just south. And it's running east at about 30 miles per hour. Laredo, you need to be in your shelter right now. All right, so that would be basement. That would be in a bathroom if you don't have a basement. If you're in an apartment, then good thing to do is go to the lowest level. The higher up you are, the stronger the winds will be in a tornado. So that's why it doesn't matter what kind of building you're in, get low. That's the whole thing. Get low, put as many walls between you and the potential tornado as possible. If you're north of Laredo, you're okay. If you're up here in Galt, if you're in Trenton, you're okay. This up here is going to be some hail, it's going to be some heavy rain, it's going to be some gusty wind. Laredo to around Alpha, some spots here where that could be. All right, so let's track that one out for you. New scan just comes in. Still going 30, east at 30. This one right here has got plenty of free air to, that warm, humid air that you felt today. Storms love that. And as long as they have access to it, then they can maintain themselves. That's why these things can last, for hundreds of miles, these supercell thunderstorms. And they go across states sometimes. Sometimes they go across multiple states. Shafter, 556, all right, tornado warning in effect. Shafter, 556, that's right here. So that would be crossing what? That is in Lynn County. So northern Lynn County, it's right on that county line between Lynn, this is Sullivan here. So right about there, that'd be 556. It's about 15 minutes away on its current track. So you need to be getting to your spot. You've got a little bit of time. You can gather up what you need to gather, but just make sure that you and your family, you've got the time that you need. You've got a little time. Get to where you need to be. After that would be Duncan. Duncan, I think you're going to be okay from this one. So there's Duncan. You can see our cone fans out here in case there's some wiggle room. That's a good thing to have. But right now, I think Duncan will be all right. And then we move on to Enterprise, which you're really starting to get out there. So we'll be watching for that. But Enterprise 6:17 would be the time that it may arrive if there's still some rotation there. And of course, we'll be keeping you posted with that. Okay, so let's go back behind it a little bit. We do need to watch these areas west of where the tornado warnings are to see how's this going to play out next. What's going to go on here? This atmosphere here is untapped. That means that it has not been intruded on by storms and gobbled up some of that fuel. And once the storms do get going, especially if there's a bunch of them, they will start to stabilize the atmosphere. This has not happened here yet. This is prime time for the next round. And these may start going pretty fast. If they do, then they would be the next ones that could produce tornadoes. Let's see what happens. This is a 1-hour loop. I want you to look around Mound City. I want you to look around King City, south of Maryville. This will be our next zone, everybody. That one right there is going fast. This one right here, let's track that one. It's maintaining. It's not really exploding, so that's good. Up here around King City, but you just see it's starting to get disturbed. Things are starting to get going there, so that's our next area that we'll have to watch. One more thing, and this is sneaky. This could be a sneaky part of this event. In spots, we could get extreme localized rain, and flash flooding would be a concern. That's why we've got this flash flood warning. It covers several counties, and we had multiple really strong thunderstorms, tornadic thunderstorms, produce really heavy rain, one right after the other. They're not moving too fast. So Davies, Grundy, Harrison, Livingston counties all under a flash flood warning until 9 tonight. Not everybody's going to get it, but in spots, what will happen under this kind of event, you can see how these are doing the same thing. They all sort of line up, and you get hit, and then you get hit, and then you get hit, and you can end up with a half a foot of rain or more in some areas. So we're going to be keeping close tabs on that for you too. All right, Melissa, let's go over to you. See if anything coming in on chat, Facebook stream, we're watching that for you. What you got?
Well, the National Weather Service had just issued an extension of the tornado warning that goes into portions of Lynn County. As where we're tracking that's moving in from Grundy is just on that southern side. So we are going to see it continue to track, crossing over into the far northern side of Lynn County. There have been some reports from the Grundy County, Missouri Emergency Management Office about a rotating wall cloud west of Humphreys per the fire department. But there have been no damage reports so far. Luke had mentioned the possibility of extreme kind of rainfall that could unfold in some localized spots. Emergency managers, again, in Grundy County say some minor flooding there. But we know that these storms, if they're going to kind of continue to go in the same exact spots and progress in the same exact spots, likely going to see a increased flood threat. So I wanted to zoom back in and take a look at the specific areas we're looking at for rotation. This is going to be crossing from Grundy into the kind of far northwestern side of Lynn County. So there are a few kind of spots I'm looking at here on radar that are east that are not in our coverage area, but I wanted to point out over towards, places like Browning. But as I mentioned, there was a report of a funnel cloud near Humphrey. But we're looking at Laredo, Alpha. We're now east of that. The black line right here, let me zoom in a little bit more so you can see the black line. Black line is our county line. So we're crossing into Lynn County now. It will be crossing over 139. And if it continues on the easterly track, is just going to go along the northern border of Lynn County, crossing Missouri 139 and just north of Schaefer. So we're on the kind of far northeastern side, as Luke had mentioned, but there have been some reports of some wall clouds, and looks like there's no hail. Looks like that's for a different county, so excuse me there. But I am going to check back in on this hail. Same spot we're looking at for that tornadic threat, maybe a little bit more towards the northwest. Now we're towards Laredo. Some pockets of some brighter blue colors. This is likely around an inch to $half sized hail. So radar picking up on around an inch, which is quarter-sized hail. But as you can see, out towards Duncan, where there was, towards Humphreys and Duncan, it's a much brighter spot, closer to around 1.6 inches, which is getting closer to ping pong size. So we've got the one spot we're looking at about to cross over the county line into northern Lynn County. But again, there's that other tornado warning that's in place for northern Lynn as well. That's just along the northern edge. So let me go back over, take a look at that, then I'll send it back over to you, Luke. The northern edge, we're getting a little bit farther away from radar. That little protruding end, I'm going to keep an eye on if it kind of tries to do anything on the southern side of Lynn. But that would be towards Enterprise in northern Lynn County. So we've got a few spots we're looking at that try to extend into Lynn County, but what we're primarily focused on is going to be this hook that we're seeing crossing from Grundy into Lynn here just about now. So I'm gonna put another track on that, then Luke, I'll send it over to you and track the kind of spot of rotation we're looking at, and then send it back over to you. It's moving around 30 miles per hour. Well, looks like we just got a new scan, so let me go back over and try to track this. Looks like it's probably in northern Lynn right now. 447 now, 451 Schaefer, and then 557 Locust Valley Church, which is going to be just the county above. So Schaefer looks like this is going to just kind of clip just north of you, so we're going to keep a close eye on that. But in the event that it goes maybe a little bit further down towards the south, we'll be sure to let you know. Luke.
Excellent, Melissa. Thank you so much. And we're on our Facebook stream. I want you to know we're listening to you. This is a conversation. All right, you tell us what you've got going on, where you are, and we'll report back with what we see on our side, and that way everybody's informed. And we've gotten some thanks from Grundy and Lynn counties. Of course, you're in our coverage area. If you're in our coverage area, we're going to cover you, especially when there's dangerous storms like this, though I know some of you are hours away from any potential threat, like those of us in Kansas City. We've got some questions coming in about programming.
That's what I'm about
if you
to
want, you can go over to our sister station, KSMO Digital 5.2, and that's channel 52. You can go there and you'll have CBS Nightly News. You'll have your regularly scheduled program, so we're simulcasting there. I just want you to know that. And in the meantime, we got to keep our eye on this. Something else is we've got a new severe thunderstorm warning up here north of St. Joe. I was just talking about how this is the next zone that we got to watch. And when the storms first fired up, that was what, 2.5 hours ago, something like that, 2 hours ago. It didn't take them long to become strong, and that's what this one did. It only is less than an hour that thing's been around, and once it got going, it's already producing some severe level winds and hail. And I'm gonna take a close look at that here in a second. But I do want to address something that I know a lot of you are asking, and that is, what about the rest of the area that's not currently under any sort of storm threat? Are we done? No, we are not. In fact, I want to show you this. Excuse me. This is one of our computer simulations. These update every hour. So this is going to be changing on us. So I might show it to you once, and then we come back and it updates and we've got another look at it. It's picking up on these cells here. And this was the question. The question for Kansas City is, would these storms up here be sufficiently strong to develop into this line? And that's what we're beginning to see. It's not this strong. This computer might be overdoing it. But I do want you to understand that this will probably be a long duration event where we're going to be watching these. This is 8 o'clock and they're nosing in. I actually think it'd be a little bit longer than that. So this will slowly drop south. The question is how much of it's going to be there. I want to emphasize we are not out of the woods in Kansas City because it's up to our north. This was expected. It doesn't mean we're guaranteed to get it. It just means we are still on alert. We still have a tornado watch. And our computer, just so you understand the strength of what we'd be looking at and why we have the tornado watch. This is showing rotation tracks. And that's not tornadoes, that's rotating thunderstorms, the kind that can produce severe weather and tornadoes. And you see how those get close on this simulation. It's just a simulation. This is not live, this is not current, but I just want to emphasize what we'll be staring down as we go through the evening. All right, so let's get up here to St. Joe, or north of St. Joe, and see what's going on with this warning. And Lynn County, Grundy County, it's about to leave Grundy. It's really in Lynn County now, Lynn and Sullivan, with the tornado warning. We'll be back there in just a moment. But I do want to see how this system up here evolves, because things can happen rapidly. So we're north of Savannah. We're south of Maryville. We're north of St. Joe. New severe thunderstorm warning just came out, just dropped. Let's go through it together and see what we've got. All right, so it's got a tornado possible tag. You see that, Melissa? Right there, this thing's already starting to rotate. So severe thunderstorm warning goes until 6:45. That's a long warning. Wow, that's going to be for nearly an hour. So this is in portions of Andrew and Nottoway counties. And let's see, I'm going to bring it to you, Melissa, and you see what's going on there as far as any rotation goes. On the other, what's it doing? It's got $half size hail potential and 60-mile-per-hour winds. So just kind of reading the tea leaves here, what this is telling us is what's going on. The atmosphere here is capable of producing these storms quickly, and they can grow strong quickly, and then once they get going, once they get tall enough, that's the thing. Once they get tall enough, they feel the different winds throughout the layer of the atmosphere from ground all the way up to 30,000 feet. And that causes them to start spinning. So once they get about a half hour, 45 minutes, an hour old, then they start to take on that characteristic. And then we've got to watch them. And that's what's going on here north of Savannah. These would be the ones that would eventually drop south later on tonight toward KC. Let's go over to you, Melissa.
I've got kind of a look at this specific severe thunderstorm warning. This is what it looks like in terms of watching the potential for rotation. Again, there is a tornado possible tag on this. Some broad rotation overall is what we're seeing. So that's what the National Weather Service is seeing as well. That is why they have that tornado possible tag. So we're keeping a very close eye on it. But if there's going to be any rotation, it's now east of Matlin. It will be crossing over 71 within a couple of minutes. We know the warning goes for a very long time, only moving around east 30 miles per hour or so. So we're keeping a close eye on the rotation. Again, not seeing a whole lot of tight rotation like we've seen earlier the last couple of hours. This is more broad. That's why we've got the tornado possible tag and not a tornado warning. So it's something we're definitely looking at. But we know that hail is going to be possible in the severe thunderstorm warning, and that is going to be for $half sized hail. Based on radar, not quite up to $half size, but probably close. $half size is about 1 1/4. This is looking at 1.1. So that's in between Matlin and Barnard. Along 71 is where it's going to be crossing next, and then off towards the east. So we're keeping a close eye on that rotation. 60-mile-per-hour winds are possible within this too. Not seeing any bright coloring on our velocity for checking our Doppler winds. Looks like we just lost this here for a second. Let me try to bring it back.
I wonder if it switched over to the terminal.
Yes, it did. I just unclicked it, so thank you. So we're watching several threats, of course, with this severe thunderstorm. And this is going to be the next one we're really watching to possibly develop that rotation and possibly lead to a tornado warning. Luke.
Okay, let's get back to the tornado warning that we do have. Now it's really just in Lynn County, so we're out of Grundy County. The warning is even moved east. So let's go up north. Let's talk about our tornado warning that is in our far northeastern counties. Really just Lynn County. Sullivan County, not officially part of our coverage area, though I'm sure that we're seeing there. So where I see the tornado potential would be between Purdon and Duncan. So it's right through here. So this is Sullivan County. Here's the county line. This is Lynn County. Purdon, you're in Lynn County. If there's a tornado, it would be north of you. I think it's going to be heading right toward North Salem. So, I mean, we're right there on that county line. And this one's been moving east at 30. Let's see if it's still doing that. Let's do the latest warning. It's going to be the newest information that we have. 6:30, that one's been extended until 6:30. 30 miles an hour east. It's been consistent. And I actually think that the track would be, what I saw is a little bit further east of where we have been pointing out the little notches much of this evening. I think the radar's just got to catch up with me. There we go, east at 30. Okay, so Browning, 557, possible tornado. It's essentially there now. All right, Enterprise, you'd be next in line. Enterprise would be at 6:05, North Salem, right behind Browning. So we're right there on the, Lynn and Sullivan County lines. There's North Salem, that would be about 6:15. So you've got about 20 minutes in North Salem, and then next in line after that would be Ethel, and that's a whole half hour past that. So that's getting way out here, where it is, southeast. That's outside of our coverage area. But right through there, be getting in your shelter and your safe spot, and be prepared. There may be a tornado in there, and this thing has been around long enough, and what they typically do is they start cloaking if there's a tornado, they cloak in rain. It's what we call rain wrap tornado. So way up here in Lynn County. Lynn County is one of our counties, and we will watch that for you. Melissa, she is on analysis. I promise you that girl doesn't miss a thing. She calls them before the warnings come out pretty commonly. And I'll be here tracking for you throughout the night. And the next thing is going to be these up here to our north. So north of St. Joe. By the way, we do have our First Warn weather tracker that's up. It's headed toward this direction. So we're going to be in a good position to monitor and get vantage points from the ground of what these are looking to do. We also have been tracking some researchers that have been out. They're essentially storm chasing, but doing it for scientific research, trying to launch drones into tornadoes, and they're moving into this area too. So we're getting, there's our weather tracker. You can see our First Warn 5 weather tracker. Skies up here are angry. Do you guys know where we are? Do we have an... Okay, so we know that we're heading north, and so we're south of these storms. We're looking north, and it doesn't look like anything too remarkable right now. We're a little bit away. That storm right there, though, is nasty. This one that's up here, we're not going that far. We're not that far yet. So we're heading in that direction. So just to show you that we're moving there, and we're going to be bringing you everything that we can. Sorry, what was that? Okay, going toward Pattonsburg is where the tracker is headed right now. And we've got about another, 6 o'clock? Another 3 hours left of a tornado watch if it doesn't get extended. Okay, so let me see if there's anything coming in on my side as far as, again, we've got our chat, our Facebook chat. You've got questions, bring them to us. We'd love to answer those. And just make sure that you're getting the information you need. We do have a tornado possible severe thunderstorm warning here. And then we have a tornado warning. That's Lynn County, right between Lynn and Sullivan counties. We just tracked that one out for you. And a lot of questions about, what about my town? What about, and a lot of them are centered around the metro. And again, the thing is, it's going to take a while. We do not have an imminent threat in Kansas City, but these will start dropping south as we go deeper into the night. And that's when our threat would take place. I'm not saying it's going to happen. They may fizzle before they get here. We certainly hope they do. We'll just have to watch that. But the computer forecasts have been indicating that's what's coming next. The atmosphere there is primed and ready to go for that if they do start dropping to the south. Okay, so just joining us, 5:57, top of the hour. Here's the view for you. Let's go back up over here to Lynn County. Let's see this tornado warning, this area of rotation that's been straddling the line between Sullivan and Lynn County. It's real close to the county line. In fact, let me see if I can switch this over for you. I'd like to get a look at it as far as the spin, and we could see exactly where any rotation would be. Let's see if it'll let me do that. It might freak my computer system out, but I'm going to try it for you. So there's our tornado warnings. There's actually two of them. One of them goes until 6:30. That's going to be this leading one. The core of the storm is really up here into Sullivan County. There's Duncan. But right there along Lynn County, yeah, I didn't like that, did it? Let's see if we can go back. There we go. Okay, so it'd be, if there's a tornado, it's going to be right around here, southeast of Duncan, and tracking north. So Purdon, you're okay. If you're in Purdon and you're in Lynn County, you're clear. You're clear. It's going to be missing you. Here's Purdon. Let me move this so you can see a little bit better. Here's Purdon, all right, and you're in the tornado warning, but that's where the tornado would be, somewhere right in here. So North Salem, right through there. Let's see if there's any other counties in this area or any other cities in this area. Browning and Enterprise. So Browning, right on the county line, Enterprise, right on the county line. This is where it would be, and heading eastward toward North Salem next, right there. So we're looking at, was that 5 Highway? Looks to be 5, yep, 5 Highway. Near Browning, potential tornado there, radar indicated, it's not confirmed. Earlier this storm did produce a tornado, but that was some time ago. And then running eastward toward Enterprise and North Salem. 30 miles per hour, let's give you a time. How long would that take it? Okay. All right, here we go. So Enterprise, 6:05, you got 5 minutes, Enterprise. It's basically there, be in your safe spot, be in your shelter. North Salem, 6:15, so 15 minutes to North Salem. Then Brute, 6:22, northern Lynn County, southern Sullivan County, tornado warning. Melissa, let's get over to you.
We've got a live picture right now. Again, we were talking about the severe thunderstorm warning. That's in portions of Andrew and Nottoway. It is just south of Maryville. We've got a look at the camera from Northwest Missouri State. You can see the clouds in the background, for one. obviously there's a baseball field, a very stunning image. So right now, I believe we're looking probably just at the northern side of the storm, I would imagine, based on radar. So it's likely going to go this way. It's not coming right at the camera, but you can see the supercell structure is starting to form. So based on radar, you can see it's trying to get a little bit more of that kind of rear backside based on what's going on just on the southwestern side of the storm. So it's starting to take a little bit more of a supercell structure than it was earlier. We saw it fire up for one. We've kind of seen it evolve here, but the tornado possible tag is still there. So based on what I'm seeing, it looks like the radar rotation is tightening, especially just south of Maryville. So based on, because we've been tracking this here for the last couple of minutes, but based on what I'm seeing, the rotation has tightened up significantly and is going to be likely crossing over 71 here shortly, just south of Maryville. So maybe on the last scan, it was a little bit tighter, maybe not as tight as it once was on this new scan. Let's see if we can back it up. But definitely watching the rotation there. We saw the kind of northern side of the storm from that camera, Northwest Missouri State. Warning also for hail. Looks like it's around $50 sized. Will be going south of Maryville. But the storm structure itself is starting to take more of a supercell structure, and we're starting to see the other storm that was back behind it conglomerate with it to further enhance the supercell structure. You can start to see it's trying to kind of jet out down towards the south a little bit more, possibly trying to make the hook as we go into the next couple of minutes. I'm going to be interested to see how this will go here. But based on our velocity products, to me, it looks like the rotation is tightening. Would you say the same thing, Lou?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Melissa. Whenever you saw that hook, a good call, by the way.
Thank you.
And be watching. That'll be the next one. If we're going to get a tornado warning anytime soon, that's the one that's going to do it.
Yeah.
So we got to watch that one closely. I think it could be. It's not there yet. It's not tight enough yet. The National Weather Service, though, of course, is watching it. That's why they've got that tornado possible tag on that. It's big. It's got a pin in it. That one's being watched by us and by the Weather Service. So we're going to be bringing you any changes with that one. But I did want to pull this view out a little bit and kind of give you a big picture. Look at that line. That's all starting to go. There's a new severe thunderstorm warning all the way over there in Manhattan. So this is all starting to come together. And once they sync up, all these storms start to connect, then what's good with that is the tornado risk comes down. It's not zero, but then they start to move. And that's what could be bringing it closer to the Kansas City area. Rhett, you were saying that we have the First Warn weather tracker that's out. They just left Pattonsburg. There we go. That's a live image, sir. First Warn weather tracker is out on the streets. They're heading east right now toward, 13 Highway? Is that what you said? Around Pattonsburg. They just left Pattonsburg. So we're looking at the storms, and we're heading in that general direction to get an idea of what these would look like from the ground. So we want to show it to you on radar on a map, and then we want to show it to you from the ground what it would look like if you were there. We did have, if we have another shot from Northwest Missouri State, that was an incredible shot as that storm was going through there too. If that's still good, I would take that and we could see what it looks like from that vantage point as well. All right, there we go. Okay, so that is not rotating. So that might be what we call a shelf cloud, something that's commonly confused with a wall cloud. A wall cloud would be a lowering that would be much smaller in area than that, and it would also be rotating. A wall cloud would rotate, and we don't see that there. I think what that is a shelf cloud, which is, you're going to get that on another side of the storm. Rather than, not the tornadic side, you get it on the other side, and that would be before heavy rain and high winds come in. So that's what I see there. But yeah, whenever you see that, there's a nasty storm coming. You see a shelf cloud, there's something heading your way. And usually your winds will be a lot higher before you get into the rain. You'll get the wind, it's rain-cooled air, you'll see your temperatures drop, and then you just get slammed with rain and hail. So that's what I see out of that. Okay, back to radar we go. Let's get back on this tornado warning. Okay, so still a dangerous situation that we've had a lot so far today. has been up here in our northeastern counties. We've been looking at Lynn County here most recently, Sullivan County. We do have a tornado warning in the KCTV coverage area. Not an immediate threat for the Kansas City Metro, but we have a large coverage area. You can go to KSMO if you wish to switch over for programming, regular programming for now. But this right here, dangerous, and these are some of our people. All right, North Salem is where that would be about this point, are moving very close to it. So let's pause that. It's starting to glob. It's a little bit globby now. It doesn't have quite the feature that it did previously, but between Enterprise and North Salem, right there would be the potential tornado warning in effect. I believe it goes until 6:15. Let's see what this is for Lynn County. 6:30 now, 6:30. Tornado possible, so this is radar indicated rotation, but we're getting really far away from the radar too. We don't get a good view of them here, so we're looking kind of high up into the storm. But moving east at 30, we'll say it's around Enterprise, and see that would put it at North Salem in about 5 minutes in North Salem as it moves eastward. So North Salem, you're next. And then after that, it would be going Clapp School, and then 6:30 Advent School. Let's see if that's right there. So that's outside of our coverage area. Melissa, what you got?
Well, I switched the radar over to Des Moines. We're getting kind of a clearer picture of probably where the rotation is on our Doppler winds. Right over Enterprise, as you were mentioning, going towards North Salem. Keep in mind, the radar beam in Des Moines, it's way up here. So again, there could be a little bit of misplacement here based on where the radars are in vicinity to where Lynn County is. So Enterprise, North Salem's going to be in this path. It's probably right along the county line right now. And then we're looking at it going, eventually crossing over as it gets kind of farther away, Missouri 129 and then Missouri 11, which is these two kind of white lines that we're looking at here on the right side of your screen. So kind of a better vantage point, but still, as Luke mentioned, along that county line, Enterprise towards North Salem. Did want to mention that too, because, you know, I've kind of been taking a look at what specific radar could do the kind of better job at the storms that we're looking at. So did want to kind of show you the velocity couplet there. Luke, I'll send it back over to you.
Okay, so yeah, we've got that storm. That is our lone tornado warning right now. Again, we've got a watch that goes until 9. St. Joe, north of St. Joe, is the area that we're keeping close tabs on. If you're just joining us, it's now 6:07. This storm up here, this area up here is the next one. You can see, I'll just put a loop on this and you get an idea. This has been growing, and this will be the next area where we could see severe storms start to rotate. Melissa was on this one not long ago. You see how it's starting to get that notch. We don't like those notches. Whenever those start forming, that's telling us the storm is wrapping that rain around it, and that's spinning. Whenever it's spinning, then they have the potential to produce tornadoes. This has a tornado possible tag with it, and what that means is it's doing stuff. It's spinning, and it's not tight enough yet. There has to be like a certain threshold where the rotation is going fast enough to spin up a tornado, and it's not there yet, but the process is underway, and we've got to keep close eyes on that. So this is in Nottoway County, so southeastern Nottoway County, south of Maryville. I want you to know, nasty severe thunderstorm. We've got 60-mile-per-hour winds and potential large hail with it. Last we checked, it wasn't doing more than $0.50, but whenever they start growing like this, that can change in a hurry. So that'd be around Barnard and south of Maryville, west of Stanbury, southeastern Nottoway County. This is the one we have to watch next. 6:45 is the warning time, and it's also moving at 30 miles per hour to the east, and it's now saying quarter-size hail. So the warning has come down as far as the potential hail estimate. And then over here, these are heavy rain producers that we've got in Bethany and Albany, and there's Pattonsburg right there. So this is where our First Warn weather tracker has been running up 35. They're going east now. They may want to actually turn around and come back west as we watch these over here start to build. So you might want to relay that to Betsy. We've got Betsy Webster in the First Warn weather tracker. So you might want to turn around and go west, guys. All right, there's Gilman City. These are just heavy rain producers, but they're going over that spot right there. That is a flash flood warning. And you're going to have one, then another, then another. They just keep lining up. And that we had 3 inches of rain already up here by Jameson. And then there's more coming. They could get another 3 inches before it's all said and done pretty easily. So there's the setup with that. And then to our west, over here by Manhattan. So these are going too. All that line. Now, I'm going to take you to first warn future radar, because if you're not in the immediate threat zone, you're probably wondering what's the deal for tonight. And our computers are simulating, though this is just a computer simulation. These are wrong sometimes. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but we do have that line coming south. This is by 9 p.m. when it models that, as it's dropping toward KC, toward Richmond. If you're south of I-70, I think it's really going to struggle, but we're kind of on the line in Kansas City. See how they start to fall apart south of I-70? You're probably going to be okay for tonight if you're south of I-70. But if you're in Kansas City, we're right on that southern edge where this may maintain strength and possibly produce tornadoes. And if not, then severe thunderstorms would, of course, be a concern as well. So let me see if there's anything coming in from the Weather Service. So just so you know, on our end, we have reports that feed in from emergency managers, from police officers, from firefighters, and anything that we see, we push it back. Some good news here is out of Linn County, we have not had any reports. We didn't have any out of Grundy County either. So this has been a cyclic supercell, at times producing tornadoes storm that's up here. And it looks like maybe they're going to go for the severe thunderstorm warning instead of the tornado warning in this area. Let's go back up here and see what the deal is with this. Okay, I want to point out some spots that are in the clear, because if you're in a tornado warning, you want to know that. That's almost as important as knowing, when it's coming your way. Duncan, you're clear. Purdon, you're clear. Milan, you're out of the warning. North Salem, the rotating part of the storm is just near, probably just east of you, but you're not all clear yet. But you are in Duncan. That right there is still, this right here, this little red box. So you still have this very slim sliver of northeastern Linn County where that, and it's running right across that county line. That's where the tornado would still be possible. We would not see it. Whenever you see this kind of structure, you're not going to see anything. It's going to be lost up here in the rain. It's going to be rain wrapped. I know the joke is go out and look at it. If you're in the Midwest, that's what we do, but don't do it. You won't see anything. I promise you. Let's see where this would be. Melissa, if you could just kind of point out, you don't even have to go to Melissa. I just want to see on the velocities where this would be. Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking it's around North Salem. I just want to give a track up here for everybody that's watching us in northeastern Linn County. If you can see us in southern Sullivan County, where this tornado could be, and then just be accurate with my track as I estimate that.
It looks like, let me try to go switch over to the Des Moines radar, because I got a little bit better look, but it looks like based on our radar, it's close to North Salem. Let me turn it off and get the Des Moines radar.
Okay, that's where I would have guessed. Let's just track it from there, and then I'll edit it if necessary, but I want to get you a track. Okay, North Salem, still running east. It's going to be out of Linn County here before too awful long. All right, so Goldsberry, 636. Goldsberry's down here, so that would be getting east of Linn County. There's North Salem. That right there is the end of the county, and then there's Elmer. So if you're in either of those spots, this is a rural area, so you go east of North Salem. We're not seeing any cities pop up on our side, but Goldsberry at 636, 648 for Elmer. Let's zoom in here just a little bit and see if we can spot anything. I think what's going on here, they haven't explicitly said it in the chat, the National Weather Service, but it is losing some of its tornadic structure, which is great. We love seeing that, and they're going to likely extend it as a severe thunderstorm warning rather than a tornado warning. That's right as it's starting to get out. Now, they haven't done that yet. They would cancel these warnings if they said it's not a threat. That's not what they're doing. I think they're going to transition it. So, yeah, North Salem, be south of Butte. Mystic is way up here. You'd be in the hail, you'd be in the rain, you'd be in some wind, and then running south along, what is this, Highway 129 Highway. That would be a spot near North Salem, between North Salem and 129 Highway. Potential tornado there. Tornado warning does continue. And then after that, it's going to be out of our coverage area. Okay. So far, no tornado warning on the cell that we've been tracking up here in Nottoway County, southeastern Nottoway County. Melissa, I think I'll take it over to you here in just a moment, and we can see what it looks like. Is it getting, the thing is the rotation starting to wrap up, or is it staying steady? What's it doing? How quickly are things evolving up here? Because this is the zone that's going to tell us a lot about what happens through the rest of tonight. So let's go over to Melissa real quick and check in on that. That's a severe thunderstorm warning, southeastern Nottoway County. Right now, tornado possible tag, but not a tornado warning.
The storm itself not having the structure that we were once kind of watching it take form into. You know, we've got the classic hook, a classic supercell. not really seeing that anymore. It's kind of more of a little bit of a blob, for lack of better words. But if we look at the rotation, if there is any in the storm, it is still very broad. Still very broad rotation, kind of hard to pinpoint where it is. We know that the warning is also for hail, which looks like about 1.25 inches, which is about half dollar sized hail going through, just crossing over 71. And then in between Arco and then Barnard. So it will go off towards the east-northeast. Conception Junction would be next. Haven't seen much in terms of winds, but if I check the National Weather Service chat, it's still for 60-mile-per-hour winds. We're in Nottoway County, and it continues to move east at 30 miles per hour. So we're looking at hail and wind as the primary threats, but the structure itself, because it's a little bit more of a blob than it once was, which we could watch it take more of a supercell shape here in the next couple of minutes. But the radar indicated rotation itself looking very broad right now.
Yeah,
so
it's,
that's the good news there. It's still looking broad. Doesn't mean that it can't eventually tighten up as it goes off towards the east. But right now, not kind of seeing really any tight indication for possibilities of a tornado warning being issued immediately. So that's the good news there. But wind and hail are still the primary threats. It's moving off towards the east. We'll be going to the east at around 30 miles per hour. So tornado possible tag still on there. It continues for another 30 minutes. This was a very long warning. But right now, we've got the storms that are trying to form back off towards the west. Luke had been mentioning, they're trying to form a little bit of a line. If we take a very large look, we're going all the way back to Manhattan, all the way up to Kirksville. So there's still that tornado warning for a very sliver of Lynn, but we're looking at a few more cells that are still just along the northern border that we're going to watch. But the severe thunderstorm warning, to me, rotation is broad. Luke?
Melissa, I don't know if we're ready for it yet, but I just want to let our viewers know that our First Warn weather tracker is out with Betsy Webster right now, one of our veteran reporters. There it is. And you can see what they've found is what appears to be tornado damage. We don't know that it's tornado damage. It could be straight line wind damage, but given the storms that we've not had reports of severe straight line winds. We have had reports of tornadoes, and I know that she's east of Pattonsburg. If you guys have a location for me, I'll share that with the viewers. But you can see multiple big trees have been sheared off and knocked over. This is in our coverage area. This happened in the KCTV5 coverage area. Looks like a tornado came through this area. Exactly where that was, I'll relay as soon as I know exactly where Betsy is. We know that she's east of Pattonsburg and had been headed toward where some of these tornadic thunderstorms had been. These are big trees too, so there's a bunch of them that were knocked down. What you look for too is, of course, is everything blowing the same direction, or are things kind of twisted whenever you look at tornado damage? And it looks like some stuff is laying from right to left. That's what we see here, generally right to left. And if everything were going that way, it doesn't mean that it wasn't a tornado, but it would be more of a straight line wind sign, although that would be some gnarly straight line winds to do that. So I'm going to bet tornado. Yeah, a lot of them are going the same direction. But anyway, it could have been they were just on one side of the tornado that was pushing in one direction. So First Warn 5 weather tracker, Betsy Webster, a reporter out. If you guys do you have a county? Do you know exactly where she is? I'd love to report where this was. And what county is that? 250th and P Highway, or what town? Okay, so let's go to our reports here. Let me kick on our storm reports, and we're going to try to figure out exactly where this is. So 250th and P Highway, just east of Pattonsburg. So it ought to be up in here. Ought to be up in this zone right here. So east of Pattonsburg, this is where we had a tornado warning go through earlier. I'm going to try to find this for you. Again, what you're looking at on the other side of your screen, sorry for the pause, we're just trying to figure out exactly where this is for you. East of 35, we'd be looking at somewhere in Davies County most likely, and we have what appears to be tornado damage. I'm just going to get out Google on my phone while I'm here with you. So hang with me. We're going to figure this out together. You guys got it? Jameson, I mean, that's right in this area, so we know that she was going east. Jameson, potentially. Let me see if the highways there match up. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with Jameson. I've not been there myself, but in that area. So there's Gallatin. I think that's where she is, guys. She's near Jameson. Red, if you can confirm that, that would be great. So we're saying near Jameson. We're in Daviess County. We're east of Pattonsburg. We've got our first Warning 5 weather tracker that is out there right now looking at what appears to be tornado damage. Bunch of large trees. Okay, Betsy, we've got her? Let's give it to Betsy.
Hey guys, yeah, so I'm just leaving the shot here on this. I have to admit, we just pulled in. I haven't had a chance to knock on the door to speak with the homeowner yet. We were driving down, we took 13 down. We did go through Jameson and then went east on P Highway. We were, Corey told us there was some concern about possible damage on just north of P Highway on K Highway. Now, we are about halfway between 13 Highway and K Highway. So it may be a Jameson mailing address, but we are in a very rural area. This is the first house that we've seen. It's mostly farm fields. I haven't even seen any barns yet. But it does, we do have some power lines right behind us on the other side of the First Warn 5 weather tracker, behind us on the other side of the highway, and those appear undisturbed. No damage to power lines. We did just have someone pull in here. If you guys don't mind, I'm going to get off the air for a second, just so that I can communicate with the folks here, because we are at the edge of their driveway, and I don't want to be causing any commotion if somebody doesn't want us here.
So considerate of you, Betsy. Of course, thank you so much for your report. Thank you for being there, and do what you got to do, and thank you for passing that along. Here, what I'll do is I'll take back, because I'm able to determine now where exactly this appears to be from Betsy's description. And this, of course, Kansas City. We run north on 35. That's where the First Warn weather tracker was heading. They went up to Pattonsburg, and then they shot eastward. And then we ended up somewhere over here, and she was saying that she's not in Jameson, but they're in this general area. She was talking about Highway K, north and south. This right here is Highway K. This is Highway P. Let me put that on for you. All right, so she's somewhere in this zone in Daviess County, and she's east of Jameson. That's where it appears that we had a tornado come through and cause that damage. So I'm sure that she'll be bringing us updates as soon as she gets them, of course, being very respectful and doesn't want to cause somebody that's had a rough day. I mean, they just had a rough day. Lots to clean up there, of course, and doesn't want to be a problem for them. With all that said, we do have a tornado warning, although what's coming in on my side for this is the one that's over here in Lynn County. This is just a little sliver left. We were talking earlier how it's lost a lot of its, it doesn't look like it used to look. This is more blobby. It's not your typical what looks like a comma, or we look for hook echoes, those kinds of things for tornadic storms. This one, a blob, tends to be what we call outflow dominant. That means everything's blowing out of it instead of getting a tornado, which sucks things up in it. And they're going to allow this to expire is what it's looking like. So we do still officially have a tornado warning. Let's see how long this goes for. Sullivan County, very northeastern. This is Lynn County, very northeastern Lynn County for 6:30. So we've got 7 minutes left on this, but we're thinking it's pretty well transitioned away from rotation. So good news. This is good news for Lynn County. If you're one of our northeastern viewers way up here in Lynn County, you're one of our people. We're always going to cover for you too. Everybody that's in our area, then you do officially have a tornado warning. We cannot give you the all clear, but we can say it's looking a lot better. And this is going to be still, heavy rain, especially in Sullivan County. But the rotating part of the storm, if it were there, would be on the very eastern part of this warning. And it's just about outside of that warning. And once that's done, then it's no longer something to be considered a tornado warning. It's going to take till 6:30, unless they cancel it early, for that to drop. But I think we're pretty well wrapped up with that threat. Okay, while we're still here, we do still have officially a tornado warning in our coverage area. we will stay on as long as we have that. Don't assume anything. That's just the way that it looks to me is what I'm sharing with you. Is that a new warning that we've got? New severe thunderstorm warning up here. All right, so this is north of Chillicothe. I'm going to answer questions that I'm seeing on our Facebook stream. We are live on our Facebook stream. We're live on our YouTube stream. We may be live on TikTok as well, too, for today. So if we are, you guys can let me know. You've got questions about your area, about what's the rest of the night look like. I'll get there in just a moment. By the way, KSMO channel 5.2, our digital channel, channel 52, is another way that you can get there. Regularly scheduled program. That's where you can find that. Let's go up here and see what's up with this. This looks like a base severe thunderstorm warning north of Trenton. So it's probably going to have, so this is by Spickard. I'm going to guess 60-mile-per-hour winds possible and maybe some quarter-size hail. Let's see what the warning is. Goes till 7:15. We do not see a tornado potential with this one, not at the moment. This one's moving very quickly at 50 miles per hour northeast. Half dollar size hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind gust possible. That would be near Spickard and moving toward Newtown or south of Princeton. This is not right now rotating. This is not a tornadic threat at this point. We will watch that in portions. This is what? In portions of Grundy County. We've got Sullivan County. Geez, Sullivan County, you guys are getting it right now. Mercer and Putnam. So Grundy County and Mercer County is the two in our coverage area. That's these two. You've got that warning until 7:15, and it's a severe thunderstorm warning, not a tornado warning. Okay, so this cluster up here getting going, but not going gangbusters. This thing is not going just wild right now, which is good. This will determine what happens as we go through the rest of tonight. So for Kansas City, here's the thing. We have a tornado watch till 9 p.m. Our computers have been picking up. There's one that just went severe. All right, so there's over there just southeast of Falls City, Nebraska. These storms over here, depending on how strong they get, if they get strong enough, then we'll connect this line. If this line gets connected, they'll start to drop south. It's trying to do that now. You can see these storms that are going, but they're not going crazy. So it's kind of a mixed message. Tornado warning over there by Manhattan. Severe thunderstorm warning south of Falls City. One north of St. Joe. You can see what's going on here. Now let me take you to this. This is our tornado watch. All right, so it drops to KC and just a little bit south. That goes until 9. So we're not out of the woods until then. All right, Melissa, what you got?
Well, we're kind of taking still a kind of broad view. We know over the next couple of hours, storms can continue to form and train over the exact same areas before they try to move a little bit further down towards the south. And models have it getting closer to the I-70 corridor. Some models have them fizzling out. Some models still keep them together. So we're going to continue to progress how the rest of this evening goes based on how these storms are forming along the northern counties. So with them progressing over the same spots over and over again, we're looking at areas that could see very high amounts of rainfall based on where the strongest storms try to set up. So we are looking at an enhanced flood risk as we go through the next several hours, and even really until about midnight tonight is when we're going to see those storms progress down towards the south. Though where I think we are going to see the heaviest rainfall set up on an axis is going to be along that Highway 35 and northbound area first, because this is where all the storms started forming initially. We then have them progress off towards the south slowly, and I will show you what that looks like on our future radar. As I mentioned, there is the possibility that it gets here to Kansas City, and it looks like, I do think, let me back it up for a second. This model is a little bit further south than where the actual storms are right now. So I think it's probably going to be at least an hour behind versus what this is going to say. But as it progresses further down towards the south, maybe closer to the Kansas City metro, maybe 8, 9 o'clock. And then as it goes down towards the south, still holding on to some strong storms off towards the southeast. Here we are at 10. And then by the time we get to midnight, this thing is going to be fizzled out. So we're going to watch what's going on over the next couple of hours. We still got those storms to the north. Luke's taking a look at those.
Okay, first warm weather day in effect as we have been trying to get you ready for this possibility for strong, severe storms as we work our way into the night. The nuts and bolts, we have a tornado watch that includes Kansas City. It goes all the way down to Kansas City and just south until 9 p.m. Multiple severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. We have flash flood warnings in effect. There is still one tornado warning in effect for the KCTV5 coverage area that is in far northeastern Lynn County, that is moving south of Kirksville now, where they did extend that warning. That's a new update where that storm was looking less tornadic, and then it kind of cycled back up, something that we have seen so far this morning. We've got a lot to watch. What are these going to do? That's the question we are investigating. We are going to start our First Warn 5 weather show. We're continuing to track. We are not leaving you. Still going to go through tonight's severe threat, what's happening right now, what's to come. It's coming up on the First Warn 5 weather show. We'll start it now.
Planning your day, keeping you safe, forecasting for you. From KCTV5, this is the First Warn 5 Weather Show.
Dangerous severe storms are moving closer to the northern side of the Kansas City metro right now. We have a team of meteorologists analyzing the storms. First, let's get right over to Chief Meteorologist Luke Doris.
All right, Lauren, thank you so much. Okay, so we've been with you since about 3 o'clock. Is that when we went on, Melissa? Something like 3 o'clock. Melissa was on first. Yeah, as we have a First Warn Weather Day, our highest alert, as we saw the potential for these storms today to produce tornadoes. And we've had that. We have our First Warn Weather Tracker that is up near Jameson in Daviess County, where we have seen what appears to be tornado damage. We've had multiple reports of tornadoes. We've had people that have seen them northeast of Kansas City. This has been the target zone, and that's still where we're seeing storms blossom. And as we go through tonight, these will likely start to drift southward. There's going to be some things that have to happen first, and at the moment the threat is to our northeast. Let's track some of the storms, and Melissa has reports. She's going to be sharing what we're seeing on Facebook. Your reports are helpful, and also the National Weather Service chat, what comes in from firefighters, police officers, and any storm spotters as well. So Kansas City, right now, no immediate threat, nothing urgent is coming our way, but to our north, this area, including is Lynn County. Lynn County just got dropped. All right, so Lynn County, you were the last spot that was under this storm's threat of a tornado. That tornado warning has since advanced out of Lynn County. It is now officially out of our coverage area. Still, Kirksville, Gifford, not so much Kirksville, but around Gifford. This would be where rotation would be moving towards. So either near or just west of Gifford, possible tornado there, but no longer is that in the KCTV5 coverage area. So tornado warnings, none of them right now for our official counties. We do still have a severe thunderstorm warning, though all that storm is moving out. So North Salem, Penn, you're all looking better. And you guys just went through it as that storm tracked your way. Here's another severe thunderstorm that we have that is near Newtown, Spickard, 60-mile-per-hour winds and half-dollar size hail. Flooding is a concern. We do have a flash flood warning. Jamesport, Pattonsburg, Trenton, where we've had rounds and rounds of rain. And then this storm is one we've been watching very closely up here by Stanberry, Maryville, severe thunderstorm warning, and it has the potential to produce a tornado. It is spinning. We're watching that closely. Melissa, let's get over to you. What do you have on reports?
Storm reports overall, as we've seen these storms in our northern counties, that's where all of them are. There are no reports anywhere else. You can see all the icons that are along the northern tier, Highway 36 and above. Luke had just mentioned that storm we're still tracking. There has been a report of 1.8 inches, so a report about half-dollar size to maybe ping-pong-sized hail. That was south of Arco. That was estimated by radar here a couple minutes ago. It just started to pop up. If we go down towards places like Grundy County, where there was a lot going on there for a while, in Daviess County, we've got a tornado that was reported on the ground near Santa Rosa. That was confirmed by radar, as we mentioned, as well as the public reporting it on the ground. There were a few hail reports, around 1.5 ping-pong-sized hail towards Pattonsburg. There's actually 2 reports of that. And then off towards the east, we're looking at Jameson. So there were several spotters that were called in to report the tornado on the ground. We saw several tornado warnings go through this specific area, and the tornado that was confirmed is just east of Jameson and north of Jamesport. So this specific area is where we have our Betsy Webster out in the First Warn 5 weather tracker. I'm going to send it over to her. Betsy, what are you seeing?
Hey there. Well, you can see what I'm seeing. We were driving east on driving east from Jameson towards K Highway on P Highway when we drove past this home. Now you'll see right now there in the distance, our photographer Ken Ulrey is speaking with the couple that live here, an older couple, Walter and his wife, whose name I didn't get before I had to step back here. Quite a story they have to tell. I'm going to show you a broader look, kind of pan through here at what we can see. Now that there on the left, that's P Highway, and here's some of the trees that came down. You can see pretty much all through the properties, trees have been torn apart and are down on each side of their driveway. Now, Walter told us, and take you back to them, Walter told us, or told me, that he was standing at his front door and looked out the door. All he saw was a little drizzle when all of a sudden this massive wind came, slammed the door shut, pushed him inside. He said he was holding on to the wall. Now, he didn't hear any sirens because they're not very loud out here. This is a very rural area far away from Jameson where the tornado sirens go off. And so he was okay. Their cat disappeared, but their cat came back, and a neighbor is showing up right now with his skid loader to try to help them clear the debris. He said that he also works for the road department. He's been all around the area, and this is the worst damage he's seen so far. Back to you in the studio.
Hey, yes, and we are tracking all those storm reports that we've had so far today. We've had a good amount of them, and some tornado ones as well. Hail, wind, but I think the big one we're watching is tornado. So we're going to be checking those out. She was near that Jameson area, and I believe this is the one that she was looking at here, right near State Highway K, right? Several spotters called in, report tornado on the ground, time confirmed by radar. So we're looking at that tornado, and she was right near Jameson there. But we zoom it all out, right? You can see the tornado reports we've had in our DMA. This one's a little out of our DMA there in Putnam County. Some hail reports as well. We're looking at this cluster. This is where she was right there. And here's the number of reports. 8 reports, 3 hail, 5 tornado in and around our viewing area.
Corey, thank you very much. And we are getting some incredible video from today's tornadoes into our newsroom. Take a look at this. This is from storm chaser Jack Kelly near Lucerne, Missouri. And you can see very clearly, I mean, it appears to be a funnel cloud just in formation there. And here's another look that Jack Kelly got. This is near Ravenna, Missouri. Here it comes. And you can see those clouds just starting to take form here. So capturing this storm, I mean, just the development of it all. And a final look from the same storm chaser in Mercer. I mean, you're just getting different vantage points at this point. For those who don't know, that town is about 5 miles south of the Missouri-Iowa borderline. Our entire weather team has been live all evening as these storms pass through our region. As a reminder, you can watch for free on KCTV 5+. You just download it on Roku, Apple TV, or Fire TV to tune in. Now, still ahead, we will have a zone-by-zone look at the intense heat moving in tomorrow. We'll be back after this quick break.
I know we focused a lot on what's going on today, but tomorrow also is a first warm weather day due to heat, humidity, as well as storm chances. So as we go zone by zone for your Thursday, it is not going to be quite as hot tomorrow for our northern zone because a cold front is going to spark up storms in the afternoon. So lower to mid 80s, it'll give some reprieve from what has been very hot and humid over the last couple of days. So 85 in St. Joseph, 80 in Maryville, 81 in Bethany. We go to the central zone. The cold front's going to wait to arrive here until about lunchtime to the early afternoon. Could lodge some rain and storms up into the area. Those could be strong to severe, but we will still get the peak heating. 90 will be your high temperature in Kansas City, and the humidity will stay with it. Heat index values close to 100 degrees are possible. The most likely place to see storms tomorrow is off towards our southeast, and they're going to be the hottest as well. Upper 80s, lower 90s, 89 across the board with those heat index values closer to around 100 to about 103 degrees. Lauren.
Still ahead, the 5 things you need to know, including the contract changes for Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes.
Take the First Warn 5 weather team on the go. Download the First Warn 5 weather app right now. TV5.
After 40 years, Downtown Days in Lee Summit is done. Organizers say safety concerns made the decision for them, calling an incident Saturday the final straw. Police say a teenager had bear spray, another with a gun. Families were left running for the exits. Organizers decided to permanently end the event afterward. Jackson County homeowners, starting today, you've got mail, and this has to do with an ongoing class action lawsuit to try and get refunds for homeowners. In this, it explains that if you owned real property in Jackson County in 2023 and paid property taxes based on 2023 assessed values of more than 15%, you may be a part of this class action lawsuit and entitled to money. The Netherlands national soccer team held its first training session in the Kansas City Heat today. It played soccer, tennis, and keep away. Fans were able to get up close and get autographs from some of the players. Its World Cup match in Kansas City is June 25th. Now, the weather could impact a friendly tonight between Algeria and Bolivia. They play at 7 p.m. at CPKC Stadium. That match is closed to the public. The Kansas City Chiefs are adding 2 years to Patrick Mahomes' contract. The Chiefs announced the deal this afternoon. It is the first deal in the NFL, valued at over $500 million.
Now, your First One 5 weather forecast. Here's Chief Meteorologist Luke Doris.
This is our Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing weather cam, and we have sunshine. We have heat in Kansas City. We've been tracking tornadic thunderstorms, severe thunderstorms this afternoon and evening. That is all well to our north, but don't let that fool you. We do still have the chance that these will be dropping southward as we go throughout the rest of tonight. At least our evening, and bringing a risk toward us too. It's not for sure that will happen. We have to connect everything into a line first, but if that happens, and it's trying, then we could see this drop south. Tornado warning there, brand new just east out of Manhattan, so those are strong storms. Flash flood warning that we have that's up here by Chillicothe. Severe thunderstorm warning that is north of Chillicothe as well. And then that now is a confirmed tornado that is south of Kirksville. That's that cell that we were tracking that went through portions of northern Lynn County. It went through Grundy County. Let's zoom in. This has been the hot spot here. We have a confirmed tornado that occurred east of Jameson in Davies County. Betsy Webster, First Warn Weather Tracker, was out there earlier. King City, strong storm there, doesn't have a current warning. We got to watch flooding, all right? So we already have one flash flood warning. We may see more as we go into the night because it's one storm after another. They're all prolific rainmakers. Look at all the lightning. There's a severe thunderstorm warning. Grundy and Mercer counties till 7:15. That one could have some 60-mile-per-hour winds and some half-dollar size hail. Flash flood warning till 9. This zone's already had about 3 inches of rain. Thankfully, the heavy rain's just to the north now, and we hope it stays that way, but it might drop back down into it. Tornado watch in effect for the Kansas City metro and everywhere along I-70 and north until 9 tonight. So we are not in the clear because we're in the sunshine right now. Hazards would be very large hail, 75-mile-per-hour straight line winds, and more tornadoes. It depends on how things go to our north, so this is iffy. Up to our north, it's been ongoing, but the potential is there, which is why we have the watch. Now, let's go to our computer simulations, and what you'll see is they do connect that line, though they're doing it faster than is happening in reality. So that will be a factor that we've got to look at as we go into the night. Is this actually going to happen? Once they do, though, they're going to start to drop southward, and this computer forecast does bring them into the metro by about 8 to 9 o'clock as a strong storm, maybe severe storm as well. But you go south of there. See how they just poof, they're gone. We get south of I-70, south of the tornado watch, totally different atmosphere, and things are going to be much quieter there. You're not under nearly as big of a risk there. We do have a flash flood watch that's in effect to our north as well. This is where the heaviest rain, I think we could get some localized extreme rainfall here, upwards of a half foot. St. Joe, Highway 36, kind of that spot. Now, you can see what that computer, the one that dropped the rain down toward KC, we'll see if that happens. But the point is, localized, very heavy rain, 2 to 4 inches in the strongest storms would be possible. 87 degrees right now. Breezy southwest winds, been kind of gusty. 94 degrees is how it feels once you bring that humidity in, which we've had a lot. There's our rain and storm chances all the way up till about midnight or so, and we only drop back into the 70s tonight. We've got another warm day tomorrow, another warm morning. This is your generators for sale, low temperatures tomorrow morning. We're near 80 degrees as we start the day. Our average high is like 83. Thursday, another first warm weather day. First is going to be the heat. Just like today, then there is a severe threat. Storms are possible again. We're looking at FanFest here. We got to be ready for possible impacts from both heat and heat-related illness and then storms. Up to about 90. Heat index could be 100 or a bit more. There you can see that. Watch that. Ooh, it's getting real, real hot. There it is, 1 o'clock. That's the start of the event. Front comes through. It gets less hot, cools down, less humidity, but the severe risk is still there. So we got to see storms may form right on top of or just east. They may get lucky, and it could miss us to the east, but a level 2 out of 5 severe risk is in place. All right, Corey, let's get over to you.
All right, thanks, Luke. Let's take another look at the tornado reports that we've gotten from those impressive storms we had earlier this afternoon. Let's check it out here. You can see all of it's to the north and east of KC, and in our viewing area, we've had a total of 3. Let's look at this batch here, 1 and 2, near Jameson, near Jamesport, and just south of Pattonsburg. This one is just off to the west of I-35. This is the one Betsy was at, where we just saw damage there, just off to the east of Jamestown. State Highway K, that's where it's near. So that's where we have that tornado report. Now we're going to go off to the north and east. All right, you see, too, This one is a correction. This is a correction of this one. So it was really here in Princeton where we saw that tornado report that we had there off to the north as well. This one's out of our viewing area, but this was the most impressive looking tornado just that we saw kind of near here, a little bit outside of our viewing area there in Putnam County, just off to the west of Unionville off of Route 136. It was a multi-vortex tornado. It looked super impressive on radar and was chewing up damage. It was actually a considerable tornado warning over there, causing damage. We're also looking at this one in Jamestown, too, that just showed you. And overall, right, a lot of tornadic activity and some hail, too, in spots in Pattonsburg.
Did you know you can get live local content?